Welcome to the Julie Rowe show. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No Julie Rowe today. No Julie Rowe in real life. Let me fix something. I already did. Okay. Hey everybody, how are you doing? I was getting prepared for today and just in my true fashion, I always it's like the topic tonight, excuse me, is Julie Rowe. And then I'll start, like, whenever I schedule it or whenever I'm kinda trying to head in this direction of talking about the subject of the live stream, I end up, like, veering way off and because I make my orbit, So I was like, "Okay, alright, come back, rein it back in." And so I'm really trying, against my ADHD and just my natural orbiting fashion. So, hey, I know it's good to see you guys too. Hey, Natalie, how are you? Happy Thanksgiving to I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Me and Jason just kinda hung out and chilled, and that was it. So, um, but, hey, it's it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, right? Especially after like, freaking Halloween wasn't even over, and they're, like, putting stuff in the stores already. Well, hello, Armageddon. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, it's been a while. Same old stuff. We're like plungers. We just keep bringing up old stuff, old poop. Anyways, I know. But good to see you guys. Hey, TC. I love seeing you in other. I think where did I see you? Where did I see you the other day? I think it was the lifeboat, Tommy. I think, or it could have been Sean Atwood. I don't remember. You'll tell me. But it's so good to see you. When I see one or some of you in other places, I'm like, "Oh, look. Y'all are orbiting too." So, yeah, we need a drink night. I'll drive. I'll drive. I'll drive. Or we'll just go there and then you don't have to drive, right? You got a free turkey, cornbread dressing. I put some in the freezer for later. Good. True prepper fashion. Just kidding. But it's good to see you guys. I'm glad you're here. Um, and last week, when I rewatched it, because I try to rewatch them whenever we're done. Used to, it was because I was, it just is so much in your head that I was like, oh my God, I don't even remember what I said. Y'all know I don't have a good memory. Not in the short term. That is not me at all. But, and I mean, it's gotten worse, because of all this stuff with Lori and Chad and everything associated with it. So I used to watch after I would go live because I'm like, "Oh my god, what if I just said something?" It was just like I thought it was for caution, just to kinda see if I was rude or whatever, and I have my times. And I say, a lot, and I say, whatever, and I say, anyways, and I'm sorry, but I'm trying. I have been oh, yeah, you have, yeah. You make it green. I have been part of the lifeboat for over a year. Love Tommy. Yeah, I found him not through Lori, and Lori's my aunt, or she Lori was my aunt. Lori Vallow was my aunt. She was married to my uncle Charles Vallow, and they adopted my only nephew, JJ Vallow, and then the rest is history, you know. So she was my aunt by marriage, and anyway, so I kinda came to find out that Tommy, I think, would go speak on Surviving the Survivors channel, but I didn't know that until the Diddy stuff broke, and then that's how I found Tommy and, Shawn Atwood and Ron, and anyways, yeah. It's a whole 'nother branch of this case, basically, and I say that because it's not just Chad and Lori Daybell in this hierarchy, maybe triangular shaped model here. Um, no, it is much wider than that, and there are more people in this movement, and it's concerning to me. has been concerning to me from the very beginning. How you do? I'm glad to hear that, Natalie. I am part of all those world. It does. It does. I've connected it. It connects to Jeffrey with the island. Okay, and that's through the Huntsmans. That's through Senator Mike Lee. That's through Tim Ballard's who is oh, I'm never good at, like, condensing things, so just, I apologize, okay? There's too many of these people, and I'm just like, my brain. But Tim Ballard had an organization called Operation Underground Railroad. Well, just so happens there's a lot of similarities. Well, let me go back. So he had Operation Underground Railroad, which he just, was the inspiration for that movie, The Sound of Freedom, that came out July of 2023. Okay. Which is a propaganda movie. Okay. I don't care how many people say, oh, it helps. No, it does not. It does not help. And the more I read and learn about how it does not help, it pisses me off even more. Okay. But so there's that side tangent. Well, there was this there's a series of whiteboard meetings that have actually taken place, turns out. But Lynn Packer has reported on a 2019 secret whiteboard meeting that allegedly took place. I want to say, yeah, it was Paul Hutchinson's home, mansion, whatever. And, he said that Tim Ballard drug out this big whiteboard, and like Glenn Beck was there, Janet Russin, who is Tim Ballard's intel for these ops, allegedly. And she's a psychic, whatever, but she also does remote viewing. And so just hear me out. So with this remote viewing, like when they went to go and find Gardy Marty, did I say that right? I always feel like I get them wrong. It sounds like Mardi Gras to me. I'm from Louisiana, so I'm like Marty Gardy, Gardy Marty. Gesno Marty. Okay, yeah, yeah. So Gardy Marty, hey Bewitched. Um, hey ERP Thompson Queen. I'm glad you're here from Alaska. Is it cold there? That's a dumb question. Anyways. um we just ran our heater for the first time this weekend. We're December 1st today. So I'm just saying. I'm a big girl now, so I'm like, I appreciate the cooler weather, Anywho, but okay, so these whiteboard meetings, this is an alleged 2019 whiteboard meeting that took place, okay, at Paul Hutchinson's house. They all huddle up there, and Tim Ballard draws this, on the whiteboard, and he basically has these different entities that factor all in. It looks like a money laundering flow chart. If it were money and it were going from organization to organization, like Tim Ballard allegedly drew it, it really appears to be, to me, just all it's basically like shell companies in a sense, although they're not. But I mean, to an extent, allegedly, I don't know. I wasn't there. But so they were going to the very bottom one that he drew, a big old bucket, according to Paul Hutchinson. Didn't look like a bucket, but Tim Ballard does not know how to draw. And it was going to timballard.com. That was the end all be all, okay? Was to fatten his pockets. Then he had like, he would get like, I forget how much per speaking event, 5 books, more books, 5 more books. Just future profits shit, future profit telling shit. And so there's this Visions of Glory. Okay, sorry, I'm blurred right now. Visions of Glory was written by Tom Harrison. Tom Harrison is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And it turns out, it's been said that Chad Daybell and Julie Rowe were going to Salt Lake City to meet with Tom Harrison in his Salt Lake City office to learn how to, this is how I heard it, portal, to learn how to portal. And anybody who follows this case and knows portaling is a huge thing with this group. And turns out portaling means remote viewing. And I'm just, when you research into remote viewing and what all that entails, you research, Glenn Beck provided through Blaze Media TV a link about, it was a whole write-up about Janet Russin. This is after, I'll just say after Tim got busted, but he didn't get busted, but you know what I mean. Got found out, and those lawsuits came forward, which are now federal lawsuits, and I'm just waiting on him to file in Diddy suit. Okay, I'm just like, okay, when's this gonna happen? And I am here for it. I'm here for it. All the live long day, doomsday, because they all have the same song and dance. Anyways, let me go back to this. Blaze Media TV did this big old write up on Janet Russin, and a lot of people, in my opinion, are just like, oh, like he's calling them out, basically. Like Glenn Beck is, not that he wrote the story, but his reporter did, Courtney Weil or Wheel. I don't know how to say her name. I've seen her in some comments underneath things, and she's like, oh, interesting. And I'm like, well, why don't you freaking report that? Why don't you report all this negative shit over here? Okay, ma'am. Now I done seen you. I done took a screenshot. I got it. I want to see you report about it. Honestly, without going, and just whitewashing everything. Like a lot of things that's how a lot of things work in this arena. Okay. It's so aggravating. It's aggravating to be up against the powers that be, because they really are shitty. And yeah. But in that write up on Blaze Media, they provided a link about, to the Central Intelligence Agency community, right? That website, and it included this, I want to say it was 150 some page report about how they were experimenting with the remote viewers, if they were making their targets, what the target was, did they describe the target, they would draw the target, da 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 da. Then in the article, Blaze Media article, it said something like, yeah, and they were just like, yeah, it's just not accurate enough, or something along those lines. Don't quote me. But they were just like, yeah, no, we're good. And I mean, if and if you're just learning about the world we live in, just as I did through Lori and Chad and my family, okay? Like being homicided. I'll just say homicided. Which that's horrible to say that and then laugh, right? It's just because I'm playing with the powers that be here in the YouTube area. Anyway, so yeah, it took all that to happen for me to, and I was just like, okay, my instinct was to just dive down. I wanted to know where Lori and Chad's beliefs differed from that of their church in common, right? It's the common denominator between those two. And I here I am. So here we are. And this is where it's led me. It's led me to every freaking rabbit hole. Like I've got them covered over here. Okay. Like, and there are plenty of you who also do the same thing. And I love it. I love you guys for that. I mean, we all hold a piece of this. We all do. And it affects every one of us just like we hold a piece of it. It does affect us. Maybe directly, maybe indirectly. Either way, it does. And I don't ever want what happened to my family to happen to your family or someone you love. And if we're not truthful, or if we don't even have the real facts about how things went down and what really happened, I don't give two shits about Chad and Lori, but I give everything, and I made a vow even that I would not stop until everyone with my family's blood on their hands was held accountable, aka exposed, because that's really all the power that I have as an individual. As a community, we have the power. and the truth shall set them free. And I mean, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of lies. There's so many lies, half truths, all out just deception, and but I mean, we just slow and steady wins the race, okay? And I mean, I don't ever lose traction. It just seems a little slower than everything else, but I don't ever lose hope, and I can't give up. I can't. Here we are. It's been almost what we're about 5.5 years in now, and here we are. And it's like I can't move on to the next phase or whatever that is. I don't know what that phase is because I've just been like one track mind, and then I can't go forward until this is done, and whatever this is, I don't even know what this is, but I have a pretty good idea now versus 5.5 years ago when I started this. So I know their end game, allegedly. I know their end game because it's all one and of the same. They are all about the second coming, ushering it in, Jesus Christ. Okay. And then they're all about, they all want to survive. They all not want to, they all expect to survive the impending doom, which I find very fascinating. I mean, my Uncle Ed, on my dad's side, that's how I learned about the 144,000 and the rapture and things like that. Okay. Um, yeah, I hope so. I learned that through him, and it was my family owned convenience store. My grandparents owned this convenience store for about 50 years. Okay. We all did our time there. And so I was working nights, and my uncle would come and close. Okay. Well, it'd be about 11 o'clock, and my Uncle Ed would just be like, he was a little dude. And I'm ready to get out of there, because like I'm done. I done worked my 8 hours. I'm ready to go. And he would come in and just be like, "Oh, yeah, and the rapture and da da da." And I mean, I was just like, it was kinda scary, because I was just like, "Oh my god." I didn't have a I didn't have a base for that, or I don't really know. I didn't know. I didn't have anywhere to, like, categorize that. It was just, okay. I went through 12 years of catechism. Um I don't know a scripture to save my life, okay? In the regular Bible, all right? Much less here you go through Mormonism, and then it's just like, "What?" So, I've learned a lot about just the, the I don't know, I can't this because it's not the same. Book of Mormon and the Bible are not the same. There's no red ink in the Book of Mormon, I noticed. There is a lot of the same it's like it has to be beat into people or beat in, I don't know a better word for that. I'm not ever trying to be mean or insensitive, but it is what it is. I just like to call it out for what it is. But it just seems like repetition, and they just really drive it home. The same song, the same dance. I don't know how people even like, when they step away from it, I don't know how they're like, "Oh my god." Like, it seems to be more in the Book of Mormon than I would say in the Bible, allegedly, in my opinion, with my very little knowledge, okay? Just me reading the temperature on things, and I'm just like, "Yeah, I don't know." Of course, everybody can and does twist the narrative of whatever book they're reading, whatever source they're getting it from, and they twist it into their own to, like, make it fit their lives, okay? That's just my take. Lori did the same, and in the Book of Mormon, it allowed her to justify homicide. If he comes at you once, if he comes at you twice, if he comes at you 3 times, look, it says it right here. And yeah, that should have been included in Sins of Our Mother, Colby. There's one for you, because that's one little line. They played the part where Lori was talking about, "Give me my temple recommend, or else I'm gonna MURDER." Okay. Um, so, Jason brought this up to me, my fiance, he was like, "So she did both? She got her temple recommend and she did that." I'm like, "Yeah, that's a good point." So, that seems to be a very common denominator with these folks is that do everything to push the boundaries of the church. Hey, Megan. I hope you had a good Halloween. That too. I hope you had a good year. Okay. I'm glad you're here. But the common denominator also with this is crap. It'll come back. Oh, that's me and my ADHD, right? um anyways, there's a lot of commonalities with these ones here. Oh, they all wanted to just kind of push the boundaries. Not kind of. They really wanted to push the boundaries to the extremes. That's how I'm kind of looking at it from my Never Mormon perspective. I kind of go back and forth with that though, because I'm like, are they? It's not just them though. It's not just these preppers. It is also the leadership. They don't exactly draw a clear boundary at all. Never. Yeah, no. I mean, basically, the strongest boundary line that was ever put out there was, I said pudding, that it was ever put out there was the Vice News article that reported on an email that was sent from the church that publicly denounced Tim Ballard. And I'm just like, wow, this is interesting because here's Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow over here in the same ring. They're in the same loop. Okay. Same people. They rub elbows. And they're like, hello, sister. Hello, brother. Anyways. And, and talking at these same speaking engagements, Book of Mormon evidence, preparing a people, firm foundation, firm expo, all the things. And, there's a lot of tales that go on, according to like Sean Little Bear, there's like just that's basically a place for those kind of Mormons to hook up and coitus, whatever, or just Mormon soak. Whatever that they do, I don't know. Oaks just said oh yeah, I heard about the temporary commandments. What? Just more rules, more mental gymnastics, man. They already have, like, double the commandments that the Bible does. It's like 10 commandments over here. Over there, it's 20 or something. And now there's sub 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 temporary commandments. What the They wanted what they wanted, and they didn't care about the rules. Right. Is that too, and but I've tried to explain it to Jason so many times, and 634. That's how many damn that's how many no, commandments they have? No. That's too many. Why don't they just make it 6, and 6? Just saying. Oh my gosh. Mormon soaking swingers. Yes. Doing the, Provo push or the anyways. That's crazy. That's another aspect of this though, just like with the soaking, they go all the way. All the way. You might as well get it wet, dude. You know what I mean? Sorry, but you might as well go the distance, girl and guy who are trying to bend the rules because it's like they have to think outside the box. That's the whole thing here. That is hands down, yes. They're like, "Hey, uh, CSAM, child sexual whatever, whatever." I don't like using all these freaking acronyms and shit. Corn, okay? Don't look at corn And just like John Dehlin says, he's like saying, "Don't look at the pink elephant. Don't look at the pink, or don't think about a pink elephant. Don't." And then that's what the hell you think about. So it's like they know what they're doing. I really truly believe that leadership knows exactly what the hell they're doing, and it doesn't matter. They're not here for the long haul. I mean, kinda. Yeah. Who needs who what doomsday, what Armageddon, what second coming of Jesus Christ requires money, and lots of it. What second coming needs temples? I think we ought to look at the bigger aspect here on a global level, because that's how my brain works, okay? I see the bigger picture and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's going on, this is going on," I look up from studying all this and trying to see where Chad and Lori's beliefs differ from that of their church, and they don't, okay? I don't have all the good, I can't sit here and just make it flow off my tongue, but I can point shit out like a mofo, and I know I'm not dumb, neither are they. And I'm on to them, and I see it. It's not just Lori and Chad went astray. It's not just in the same group almost. Tim Ballard went astray. Man, he was right there holding hands with a freaking Mormon apostle and a couple other ones that allegedly, donated, not donated. They didn't donate. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. They invested in Tim Ballard's, allegedly, in his affairs, his ventures. So, and I mean, if you go back and research more on Elder Ballard, okay, same thing. I went back recently since the Diddy stuff came out, and I'm like, okay, where's this go? Elder Ballard was connected to Bob Hope. Okay. Anybody in the MK Ultra side, yeah, you're like, oh shit. Okay. Yeah, no. Um, There was another one, something, uh, link letter or ink letter, I don't remember. Y'all know, I can't hold all this in my head. Art link letter or something. Another Hollywood person, who invested, and they were bros. Bros. Anyway, so it's just, oh, and not to mention that Elder Ballard had invested allegedly in the e-meter, which the Scientologists use to I forget what it's called, but to like gauge, whether you have whatever. I don't know the word right now. Somebody will know. The e-meter. A Thetan, which sounds like a freaking like they're making fun of all these things, like a Thetan? What the really? Thetan? Who does that? It's like Satan with a lisp, you know? Doesn't make sense. But yeah, the e-meter, which is, I wish I had it pulled up, but give me a second. It won't take me long. I'm glad you're here. Okay, let's see. Lynn Pecker. Uh, let's see. What do we got? All right. I know. We will. Julie Rowe is in here too. Trust me, I've got some interesting. I'm like, wow. It just really needs to be compiled. All right, let me share my screen and stop being weird with the I was clicking all kinds of buttons just now. Should have seen me. Okay. All right, making sure. All right, let me pull the transcript up. And, I don't know if Colby watches this or if this helps anybody else, but whenever you are looking at a video, you can push K to stop, and you can use the arrow keys to move forward, backwards, K to play, K to stop. You don't have to sit there and do like this. You don't have to find the little, with the mouse. You can do it with your thing. So another thing you can do is you can press Control F, and it puts this little box up here. You might not be able to see it on the screen, but it's up here, and I can type in a keyword, and I can say, e-meter. Let's see if that'll show that. No. Okay, so let's try something else. Energy. Because it was to do with the energy healing. So then I go and find, kind of somewhere towards the beginning of whatever I'm trying to show.
An
Let's just
exploratory
listen.
interview. It was to determine his willingness to serve as a mission president. But President Tanner was aware of Russ's
Real slow.
rich and varied business background, and he advised him to spend the next year putting his financial affairs in order so he could accept the call. The book says the financial challenge was not an ordinary assignment. For 45-year-old M. Russell Ballard was not an ordinary businessman.
Well,
He had investments in multiple enterprises. Putting financial affairs in order must have included putting together a new venture. In 1974, the year he would be called as a mission president, Russell Ballard formed a new company, Emergency Products, Inc., along with George Conde and his father. It was related to his Dynapack, Inc.
I will prove that right today.
Dynapack, Inc., among other products, made portable wood and coal-burning stoves, which sold well during the 1974 energy crisis. Besides franchises, the stoves themselves were sold at Ballard's business office and at the Ballard Wade used car lot. Still, Dynapack stock sold for only a few cents a share. That same year, Dynapack acquired the financially troubled Hydra-Swift Boat Company.
I don't know where to put it.
Hydra-Swift did not turn Dynapack into a successful venture.
We'll just leave
Amid his new ventures, Ballard was called as the LDS Church's Ontario, Canada mission president.
Tim looks like
he went on to the church's payroll and never left church employment. But he continued connections to businesses and penny stock ventures.
Yeah, I know.
Dynapack, the grandchild of Valley Music Hall, Inc., soldiered on as a penny stock company trading over the counter. A business paper called it a jack of all trades, master of none.
My dad used to
struggled
say
financially for years, stock selling at less than 30 cents a share. In 1977, its main lender, Utah Valley Bank, demanded payment for a $350,000 note, forcing Dynapack into liquidation.
I hope we get there soon.
Dynapack, reduced to almost a shell, looked for a private company that wanted to do a reverse merger. So what happened to the Dynapack shell?
What happened, Lynn?
In July 1984, Dynapack, after being dormant for several years, was reactivated by a merger with Sedona Corp of California. It's doubtful Russell Ballard had any direct involvement with the merger, but he may have owned some shares. Dynapack acquired the Golden Gulch gold mine in New Mexico. A geologist falsified an assay claiming the mine could produce $7.8 million in gold a month.
That's a lot for
promoters executed a pump and dump scheme. Dynapack stock skyrocketed from 5 cents a share to $8 a share. Dynapack's owner was convicted of securities fraud, and a Salt Lake transfer agent was charged with aiding and abetting. A remnant of the original Dynapack still exists today with the same name. But there's no longer any connection with the infamous public company. A spokesman told me the old Dynapack that was publicly traded over the counter went bankrupt. He said the new current Dynapack is privately held. Ballard's involvement with penny stock promoters continued even after being made an apostle. His biography refers to Stephen Studdert, seen here with Ballard. Studdert was highly experienced in politics and business. He served on the White House staff as an advisor to United States Presidents Ronald Reagan, Gerald Ford, and George H.W. Bush. Studdert and Ballard served together on Utah's 1996 Statehood Centennial Commission. In an interview with This People magazine, Ballard talked about Studdert. The article said, Elder Russell Ballard, a personal friend of Studdert, said wealth can be a terrible snare in life or a way to bless others. Steve is not a rich man, but I think his great wealth is his time given to his community. Some of Studdert's penny stock ventures, Phonics Corp. Phonics lost more than $100 million while its founders became wealthy. Canyon Gold, Defense Technology,
Sounds
and
like a bunch of just
KLS Enviro Resources.
opportunistic.
Stutter was CEO of
Mm.
KLS Enviro. Ballard Investment Company acquired as many as 1.6 million shares in Stutter's company. Zions Bank $710,000 loan may have been
That's a biggie
involved with
right
the
there.
investment. SEC filings indicate Russell Ballard's son, Craig, and son-in-law, Brad Brower, participated in the
His
investment.
eyes freak me out, y'all.
Another Ballard
Brad
penny
Brower?
stock
Mm-mm.
investment after becoming a general authority. The Biomeridian electrodiagnostic device tests galvanic skin resistance to an applied electrical current. It purportedly detects energy imbalances. They're often used to recommend vitamins, nutritional supplements to treat supposed ailments.
I have a
The
story for
website,
that. After I had Ashlyn, so 2006, I had my last baby, my second baby, okay? And um I almost couldn't carry her because I had had a procedure done like 6 months prior to getting pregnant. They were like, "Don't get pregnant right now," which I didn't. I mean, it was just right within that window though. It was very close to that 6-month time since the surgery. And so whenever I did, I mean, I had to go to a specialist here in town, um, in fertility and everything because my numbers were real low. And so my numbers, according to the testing and everything, it was like I was gonna miscarry. Well, I mean, they put me on progesterone, like different hormones, okay? And so I ended up carrying her, thank God. She has Joseph Smith's birthday, December 23rd. My baby girl will be 19. So, anyways, happy birthday, Ashlyn, right? Anyways, but I remember, like, of course, I would talk to my mom about everything that was going on. And so she was like, "Oh, well, Charles and Lori, they get, they basically you send in your urine or whatever," which I'm just like, now I'm like, oh, cringe, cringe, cringe. And these people, or it might have been a blood test. I don't remember. It was 19 years ago. God dang. Well, so I did that, and it was like they would send you like vitamins and whatever you needed, whatever your body was lacking. It was like $500 every time. And I mean, I'm just like, what the hell did they have me paying for? Now that I'm just like, so again, these things affect you whether you are Mormon or not, whether you live close or not, whether you know your uncle is or not. Okay. So it affects the stock market. It affects all kinds of things. So that's just interesting. Not that it really had anything to do with this, but close.
Quackwatch calls it a scam. Scientologists use a similar device called an e-meter that operates used to supposedly detect whether a person has been relieved of spiritual impediments of past
So
experiences.
could this, I mean, to me, that sounded a lot like, oh, are you light or dark? I mean, come on now. Just, you can't make this shit up. Let's hear that again.
The website Quackwatch calls it a scam. Scientologists use a similar device called an e-meter that operates used to supposedly detect whether a person has been relieved
Yours
of
on me.
spiritual impediments
Oh,
of
no.
past experiences. Ballard related entities made loans and acquired 200,000 shares. By 2000, Ballard Investments owned 1.9 million shares. Biomeridian
Oh,
stock
I'm
was
gonna get in
delisted in
video.
2003.
Oh, I think
The
he's gonna
share
show a
price
video.
was at a fraction of a cent. I already mentioned the Ballard's involvement with his mentor Kay Stoker's Alda Gold and Latico mining companies
Mm,
extended well into his tenure as an LDS general authority. In turn, Ballard may have become a mentor to his
I think
son-in-law,
so.
who became a penny stock
I think
entrepreneur.
it is.
Son-in-law Brad Brower was
He
chairman
seems
of the
to do
penny
the
stock
bidding for his
company
father-in-law.
Prime Resources
Oh, here's
Corp.,
the good part.
which provided long
I'll shut up.
distance discount services before undergoing several mergers and name changes. My previous reports detailed Brad Brower's connections with his father-in-law's business partner, Tim Ballard. Brower was reportedly Russell Ballard's go-between with regard to Tim Ballard's book publishing and movie-making ventures, which began under the auspices of the Utah company Liberty 89. Liberty 89's website showed Brad Brower with his wife, Russell Ballard's daughter, as a board member, along with former OUR President John Moreland and Ken Krogh. It also shows Hugh Vail as a team member and Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes as a course instructor. It's been in the news. Sherston Stockwell, once Operation Underground Railroad's development director, told criminal investigators about a meeting she attended with Tim Ballard at Thanksgiving Point. The meeting was attended by two Liberty 89 principals, Ken Krogh and Hugh Vail, plus Tom Harrison, who purportedly believes Tim Ballard is a prophet. Stockwell told investigators they claim to have visions and special intelligence of the second coming. Tim Ballard was called by God to restore America to the covenant. Tim was very verbal about Elder Russell Ballard's involvement behind it. The same Ken Krogh who served with Brad Brower on the Liberty 89 board became an executive for Tim Ballard's Spear Fund after Tim was forced to resign from OUR. Also, Krogh is reportedly very close with Russell Ballard, besides his connection with Brad Brower.
Yeah, when I went back and so there's also this 2016 whiteboard meeting that cropped up, okay? We'll just say cropped up. And that we found, okay? And so this 2 hour and 13 minute to the second long whiteboard meeting, 2016, though, September 4th, 2019, when this particular meeting was uploaded. Okay. And it details basically how to brand Operation Underground Railroad. But it seems like they did these regularly but then what I found is proof, where Ken Krogh and Tim Ballard are talking to one of the ops who is now suing OUR, Tim Ballard, Matt Cooper, and Mike Parenta, federally, federal, I'll call it transporting or smuggling. Okay. Can't use the trafficking. It just, I don't know. It's easier to say, but the trafficking case, I'm just like, where the underage, where's the underage victims? Okay. I know there's victims. I know there is. They can't speak for themselves because they're, you know what I'm saying? They did a lot of these ops or whatever in third world countries, underprivileged countries where it's already corrupt. And no wonder all these people in and around these circles right here, all these philanthropists, they all have, freaking portfolios and shit. And I mean, all they do is just throw money at something or, try to volunteer or get engaged, I guess you could say. I mean, all the way to Jason Mao, where I really think Jason Mao was more when he went and worked overseas to, it was like a contract. My Uncle Bobby did that. He was a plumber. So they contracted him as a plumber, and you go to Iraq or Iran. I don't remember the exact location, but they would go into these war zones and they would make bank. Well, it so reminds me of this company that Jason Mao worked for, of BlackRock, how they just kind of umbrella things. Well, I mean, that's all. And I mean, this did lead me to, I'm gonna say his name wrong. Oh no, it's to Eric Prince, I want to say. And I remember that whenever Marisol Nichols, who is a Scientologist, who also has a anti-trafficking organization, okay, whenever she appeared on her podcast with Tim Ballard, that's the one that was deleted the next day. Another one. It's another one that was, I know, right? They just, well, I got it, but I got a really crappy copy of it, and people get pissed off. I saw a comment the other day. They were like, "Do you have to talk over?" I'm like, I was doing commentary, and I just, I didn't reply, but I'm just saying, like, that's all I had. I was doing commentary on it. Went back to look it up the next day, and it was gone, and so I had to kind of salvage what I had, so whatever, take it or leave it. Anyway, so there's that one, and so they're talking and they're trying to justify, not trying, they justified. They were like, "Oh yeah," and she was like, "I was your ruse partner," and she was like, "We just had to, pretend like we were," and she was just, oh my, it was disgusting. Okay, it's fucking disgusting. Straight up. These people they are so like dirt to dirt. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It goes kind of hand in hand with this whole soaking idea. It's just like, really? Just really? You're going to go all the way up to that line. You're going to like freaking do the Running Man and jog and do the Cabbage Patch and the MC Hammer on it, old school dances. But you're not going to like cross the line. But they do. But they do. And they end up crossing that line more than not, in my opinion. Anyways, it's just interesting to me because it seems like the most devout are the ones who fall. And I find that interesting, because Chad Daybell was not starting his own church. I mean, that's the narrative that's put out there, though. And it goes along with what Colby has said. There's this narrative that's put out there, and that everybody just buys that as if it were word, Bible, church, like that. Oh, okay. And nobody goes past that. And that's all I've done is I've found everything. I've found a lot of my own answers to so many things, to why Lori was saying what she was saying to my uncle, why she was saying that she was a translated being, that she was sent from God basically to usher in the second coming of Jesus Christ. It is these Jezebels right here too. There's a group within this church for all establishments, for let's just be honest, okay, and their job is to blend in, and it's to and I mean, if you look at it from a religious perspective, it's that or spiritual, it's that Satan is the master deceiver, and he can't do God's will, but he can very much liken it to it, whatever God has, and I don't know all the terms, I suck at all that. But whatever God says, Satan can match that base almost, you know what I mean? And so there's a temptation for it. There's as above, so below. Okay. Well, anyway, so that's what's going on here. There's this group within, and I mean, I don't know how big this group is. They don't exactly like fill out censors. Um, they don't, is it censor? Is that what it's called? Anyways, you know what I'm saying? They don't fill out, they're not like telling their bishops and shit. Okay. Just like how Lori passed her and got her temple recommend, she had to go see her bishop or stake president or whatever to even get her temple recommend. And then for her to testify or bear her testimony to Melanie Gibb, whomever was in that, I know Zalema was there. And I caught something last week though, after we ended, y'all, and I was like, oh my God, I've listened to this a bazillion times. But I'd shared with y'all how Lori was talking in that recording that Melanie Gibb provided, and how Lori was saying, if he comes at you once, comes at you twice, okay. And she said, give me my temple recommend, or else I'm going to, homicide. And but I accidentally hit it. And at the very beginning of that video, of that recording, she said something, and I was like, oh my God, she called. Damn it. I'm gonna have to let this finish, and then I'm gonna have to go pull that up because you got to hear it. And I can show you proof of where this goes. And the stuff that Lori was saying is not because she saw Jesus Christ in the damn flesh. It's a dog whistle. It's like, hey boys, it's just like when they say keep your powder dry, or awake and arise, or it's these fraternal brotherhood type, you know what I'm saying, Freemasonry. They have Tim Ballard was knighted as a Knights Templar, so was Paul Hutchinson, so was Sean Reyes. So was Eduardo Verestigi. That means knighted by what? The Queen? Like, you remember where Elton John went? And so I've been looking into the Jesuit Knights Templar initiation. It's like it's long. And I'm just like, geez, these people, to research something, so, every little thing takes up this much brain capacity and this much storage on my computer. And I don't understand it all. So, and it's a lot from so many different backgrounds, so many different topics, that it's just overwhelming to me. But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, it comes from all it's the brotherhood basically too. So there's that. Um, I can't help it. It's not my deal, Another thing, I know. I'm sorry to kind of keep building upon this, I guess. Another thing is that occurred to me was Mormon Mafia. It was a thing. It was a thing. I read about it. And I remember being like, "Oh, yeah, well, that makes sense." You know? And there's just mafia, and if you go study the structure of mafias and how they work and mobs, back in the day, again, I didn't memorize it, but it just kinda looked at how it's structured, the system, is structured. And so do we hear much about, those kind of organizations today? Oh, wait. Do we hear I mean, I don't hear about, Gambino hidden, I don't know all the names, don't come at me. I mean, the last thing I remember is watching The Sopranos a long time ago, and, okay, so, I mean, and then looking at the Diddy organization, okay, and just kinda watching that semi partially come down, but building upon that is the Jeffrey with the island dude, and it's just, like, all kinda building upon the cards are falling where they may, Glenn Beck. That's another one of those key phrases. Um, okay, so, I mean, this is the mafia, just like how, whenever with my trauma brain or whatever, and all the hurt and pain, and just everything that I've been through throughout my entire life, but through this case for sure. Um, I've learned a lot of like, the mental terminology, mental health terminology, you know what I mean? Like there's different things. And I mean, I'm trying to find myself in all this too, because I'm just like, what? Holy shit, eyes wide shut. um Crap. And it's just it makes so much sense. They're ritualistic killings. Okay. And I mean, I would just rather know what it is. I wish that everybody was okay with just saying what it is and not sweeping shit under the rug constantly having to just convince people or try to, hey, look over here. But I'm not saying that's it. I'm just saying that could be what the hell? That could be not an example, but it could be a possibility. It's just I don't set everything in one basket. I just kinda, you know, I shop around, look around, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I don't ever wanna force anything to fit because by doing that, I am like putting my hands over the victims' mouths all over again. I'm not gonna poo-poo on their memories. I'm not gonna poo-poo on their legacies. There's so many other people that are A-okay and willing to do that, and I'd be down. It's not their family. It's not their family yet. Okay? I'm it's my family. They mess with my family. Okay? That's my blood too. So bullshit. And I think it's real shitty, whether they mean to or not, whether like Nate Eaton, I mean, he's Mormon, he's got a job to do and he's got an oath to keep. And I mean, whatever, dude. But I mean, and so my family stories are caught up in this this thing, that's just all about power and control. Totally. It is a freaking power uh control freak contest, and it's very aggravating, because why can't you just say what it is? It's their truths. It's Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe's truths. True story. Hashtag true story. And I need people to think about victims. It's not the Chad and Lori show. It's been the Chad and Lori show since Jump. And here we are, and we're still freaking, it's like an uphill battle that I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever cross that bridge, I don't know. But yeah, the way the system is set up, like with the incompetency issue, with all the things, if I could just call a spade, I would just be like, no, she is manipulating. Lori is manipulating the it's not really her. How can I say? It's so hard to freaking convey. It's not Lori seeing Jesus, literally. There's no ghost of Jesus or no entity that comes to see her, according to what I have found over and over and over again. It's disgusting. It is her religion. It is her beliefs that were taught to her. It is this whatever the fuck she's in, okay? I don't know if Barry was a freaking Freemason too. There's so many different things, because I'm like, okay, I sit there and I battle out even, okay, so like Eric Smith, he was excommunicated. Julie Rowe was excommunicated. Not in time either. Okay, can we just say damage was done? Visions of Glory, damage is being done. Never, and I'm not saying that it's the church's, it is their responsibility. They're freaking club. It's a club, they make their, or they, whatever. You have to pay 10% tithing. My uncle paid 10% tithing to that church that let him down. That completely let him and his kids down. Completely. He tried going through the right channels. And they were just like, I mean, straight up the whole way, still doing it. Still doing it. Ooh. I mean, think about that. It's so deep. And it just sometimes it makes me sad. Sometimes it pisses me off. And right now I'm pissed off, and it's kind of triggering me a little bit. So yeah. Okay. Exactly. Says Rob Wood. Rob Wood. But yet he's the one that I remember hearing it from him whenever the indictments came down against Chad and Lori, that and I mean, they wrote it in the indictment even, that, and I'm trying to remember it, of course, because of religious beliefs espoused. And again, that's such a tight spot for a bishop slash prosecuting attorney to possibly be in. Some would say maybe a conflict of interest. Maybe. I'm not a legal professional, but I say this, I've been alive and on this planet for 46 years with my eyes open half the time. Just saying, I'm very observant. And I mean, it just seems to me that that's like common sense, that would be a conflict of interest. Then you add all the other things on, the Keith Morrison and Melanie Gibb text messages between the two. And I'm just like, really? I've never like called Rob Wood myself ever. And I'm family. And she's one of the bad guys, Rob Wood. And okay, kid gloves. Yeah, you got to put them on. You might as well. They're kid gloves with the white Diddy nails. I'm just picking. I just thought it'd make you laugh. Anyways, which I mean, I've got to ask this, because the only like fake nails I would wear are the French tips. Now I'm like, oh no. I don't know. I don't want to put color on my fingers. Anyway, so oh my God, does anybody else think that too though? If you're following the Diddy case? Anyways, that's so disgusting. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know where to go from here. Let's just go on with what I had scheduled. What I have on the damn thumbnail. Okay. Let me get to the beginning of it. All right. All right. Let's do the damn thing. We'll come back another day to that. It ain't going nowhere, trust me. All right. So this was, of course, this is by Wheat and Tears, okay, which I've read me a lot of Wheat and Tears. It's a Mormon blog. I don't know. They just talk about a lot of things. So this was about end times visionary Julie Rowe excommunicated. Okay. So let's see when this was. Actually, I have it pulled up right here. Allegedly, right? June 5th, 2019 is when this is from, as you can see. All right. Very nice people. I actually commented one time, and they actually were people that commented nicely. I was very shocked, and they acknowledged me. The only people that acknowledged me, pretty much. Like I've followed all the channels. I've supported. I've donated. You know, I've made it very clear who I am, who I'm related to, who this affects, why, da da da. Anything that I know that contributes to putting this puzzle together. Okay. I'm not, you heard it here first. This is my family. You're going to hear it here till I die. Okay. So, I mean, that's just what it is for me. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know what people think, but I'm just glad that it finally did catch on. And it started being covered by like John Dehlin and, with the help of Dr. John and Lauren Matthias and Radio Free Mormon and Bill Reel. I've learned a lot through these people. And like Megan, she has her channel. She gives a freaking amazing take on all this. She's very, very, very acute on this. Like she knows. She comes from the same background, basically. Um, and I mean, so you have a different flavor of Mormon, okay? An ex-Mormon and I mean, when they're transitioning out of the church and leaving the church, I mean, that's got to be traumatic. I can empathize, and I have so many times. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't imagine. Just everything you ever knew as being truth, and I mean everything else, evolved around that, just shattered, and then your family's still in, you're not, you're the oddball. They make you the oddball for sure. And then they say, why can't you just leave the church alone? Like, oh my God. It's just like a bad breakup. I'm sure whenever Charles and Lori were fighting, I'm sure that the Cox family, I just listened to Zach Cox's thing again right before I came on, where he was talking to Justin Lum. And I could just picture, I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just saying I could picture the same kind of rhetoric going on, saying, oh, he just can't leave you alone, Lori. Why don't he just leave you alone? And you just like her with Joe Ryan, I'm sure she really fabricated a lot of things and embellished a lot of things so that she could do whatever she does. Okay. But it's the same thing. It's the same kind of pattern, where why can't they just leave the church alone? And it's not that. It's just that, they've went and put their oxygen mask on and they're going to run back into the fire, into the plane crash or whatever. And they're trying to save your ass. Okay. They're trying to help you see your way out of this oppressive system that you got sucked into, and it's so tragic. It really is. It bothers me. But yeah. And so this says, another Latter-day Saint podcaster has been excommunicated. Julie Rowe caused a commotion several years ago when she was widely publicized as one of several people inspiring a massive prepper craze in September 2015. And that would be that. Look, I thought I was all lined up. No, that would be this. This is once in a blue moon. I'm sorry, once in a blood moon. Some Utah Mormons are stockpiling for the end of days this Sunday. So this was back September 25th, 2015. All right. I can't stand ads and stuff, y'all. The pop-ups, they drive me crazy. And this says Jody Hansen knows that she'll probably still find bills in her mailbox on September 28th, and she doesn't anticipate that her house will end up in Australia after a massive polar shift. But the Salt Lake City mother of 3 isn't taking any chances. What if the doomsday experts are right and Sunday's blood moon eclipse triggers catastrophic events around the world, including her normal, sedate neighborhood? At the very least, the 34-year-old homemaker tells people whether it happens or not, we'll have enough freeze-dried food to last for a year. See, they all plan on living and surviving it, which I find fascinating. I understand that that's kind of human nature, but everyone, Michelle McDermott, I'm looking at you. You're gonna run out of copyright strikes one day. I'm just kind of. Anyways, so it says, my kids aren't too happy about that, but if they're hungry, they will be. Some people laugh that I rushed out to buy this stuff, but I figure why not be prepared? A total supermoon lunar eclipse, which is also known as a blood moon, appears larger and brighter than other full moons because it's at the closest point in its orbit around the Earth. The rare lunar event, a supermoon coupled with a lunar eclipse, hasn't happened since 1982. Okay. Hansen, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is among many Mormons who have stockpiled food, water, propane, batteries, and tents in case doomsday is imminent. Utah emergency supply stores have been a sharp increase in sales the last several months, with some customers believing that a supermoon combined with a blood moon, the 4th lunar eclipse in 18 months, might trigger a Utah earthquake or worse. Okay, it says, quote, we've definitely seen a steady rise in sales since June, unquote. Kevin Albee, 57, marketing director for Emergency Essentials in Orem, Utah, tells people. I'm going to take a drink. Every time I read the word take a drink. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. All right. And so he goes on to say, quote, it's not a panic spike like we saw with the Mayan calendar ending or Y2K. Y'all was giving birth on January 1st, 2000. Straight up had my baby, my firstborn on January 1st, 2000. That was crazy. Totally crazy. Anyways, but I'd say we've had 100% increase. That's a pretty big increase. This weekend's blood moon is influencing some families to stock up, he says, but global events right now are probably having more of an impact. The earthquake in Nepal, the turmoil in the Greek and Chinese economies, and our stock market are honestly more of an influence, he says. People are saying if the blood moon means the end of the earth, we'd better prepare. And if the world doesn't end, it's probably best to prepare anyway, because something else may come up. Yeah, I live in a hurricane-ridden zone. We had 2 in the year of 2020. It was horrible. Some category, they were actually clocked at category 5 speeds, okay? But, due to insurance purposes, it depends on where you measured that wind. So they kind of rated them below by a couple miles per hour wind, just to kind of cheat everybody, in my opinion, allegedly. Wasn't there. Anyways. All right. Some preppers have apparently been influenced by a Mormon blogger, Julie Rowe. Oh, wow. Tucson, Arizona. Interesting. That's where Jody Hildebrandt was raised up. And this is where David Hamblin, they moved from New York, his family, his dad moved them to Tucson, Arizona for a time when he was Robert Hamblin was a professor at Arizona State University. There's quite a few papers, y'all. He's connected to Tavistock for anybody who's researching this side. Tavistock, and he does this whole thing also. I don't know what it's called because again, I'm human. But it's like a literature. Like you can actually look up the PDF. I'm sorry, I don't have it all right here, but I don't even know what it's called to tell you. But I know you can Google like Robert Hamblin. He was a sociologist who basically was paid by the federal government to perform these experiments on low income families, children, if you will, straight up. And they did a reward system to see if it would work. Like if the family, because it would be the whole family, a low income family, but they would target the kid, which is interesting, right? Knowing what we know. And so they would basically, if you do this, you will get a bonus, like a rebate. Like here, like, hey, we're gonna give out those Rona things, we'll give you $100 and you get to not catch a disease and die, incentive, which is weird, right? I was just like, what the hell? Why am I gonna go spin a wheel and have my chance to win $1,000 for saving my life by taking the thing? It doesn't add up to me. Anyways. So, but yeah, basically a reward system. And if you listen to David Levitt, who's a Utah County prosecutor who's after Nicholas Alaverdian, aka Arthur Knight. Okay. And he bought a freaking whole castle in Scotland, by the way, which is weird, And he's the one that allegedly is wanting to open up a buffalo trading buffalo baby, because the Ukraine doesn't have buffalo. And well, he just walked onto an Indian reservation and I'm sorry, Native American. So I'm not trying to be, I've got it in me too. I want to find out how much. I just don't want to send my test in. I don't want to know. I don't want to send my DNA in. I just don't. I have them. I have two 23andMe kits right there. I've sat on them since I bought them. And then I found like all this stuff out and I was like, guess what? We'll have a drawing for it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want yours there either. Oh my God. What do they put in that vault, y'all? Oh, anywho. But yeah. So allegedly, David Levitt walked onto this Native American reservation and procured a child, basically, and walked off with her. And of course, it was divinely inspired. And then he moved, him and his family. What's her name? His wife is Shalom Eastwood Levitt, and she is a professor at BYU. She teaches sexual education, don't you know? Might want to check her out. She's done a bunch of research papers. Yeah. And it's basically with that transhumanism type movement where it's like the child can basically say when they're ready to have, or they can consent to having actual, actual acts. That kind of line of thinking. Okay. Very forward. And I'd say inverted. They're also connected to Esalen or Esalen Institute. So there's that. And some people think that maybe Tim and Catherine went there too. Don't know. Wish I did. If you know, drop in the comments, please. Let's have a convo. All right. So a Tucson, all that just because I said Tucson, Arizona. My bad. Some preppers have apparently been influenced by Mormon blogger Julie Rowe, a Tucson, Arizona mother of three who claims she saw the world's cataclysmic future after an alleged near-death experience in 2004. She wrote 2 books, A Greater Tomorrow, My Journey Beyond the Veil. Who's read any of her books? Any and all? List them. And what'd you think about them? My Journey Beyond the Veil, and The Time Is Now, showing visions of plagues, famines, tinted cities, and massive global catastrophes. For more than a year, Rowe, who is 42, has been a popular speaker nationwide, prompting leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I like how they include the whole damn thing, to issue a rare memo saying, quote, although Sister Rowe is an active member of the LDS Church, her book is not endorsed by the church and should not be recommended to students or used as a resource in teaching them. The experiences she shares are her own personal experiences and do not necessarily reflect church doctrine, or they may distort doctrine, unquote, which is interesting. So what that tells me is that, because we're going to read some and back in that Wheat and Terror blog, which basically means light and dark, by the way. You're either a wheat or a tear. Okay. All right. So we're going to go back and read Chad Daybell's statements that he made publicly to reporters. And it's very interesting. And I noticed a theme there too. So this says, okay, so next it says Rowe, who is now declining interviews. Oh, girl, you're getting a little too famous. Told Fox News Radio in January that she decided to speak up about her visions to, quote, wake more of us up, unquote. So that right there. So January of 2015, just put a pin in that. I kind of need to know these kind of timeline dates. Quote, we need each other as we unify in righteousness and continue to build a righteous army, unquote. She said, quote, when we need to defend the U.S. Constitution, we will be ready, unquote. Although emergency supply specialists in Utah are enjoying a windfall of Rowe's predictions and the arrival of the blood moon, some are also cautioning people not to, quote, buy into hysteria, unquote. Quote, it makes more sense to prepare for an emergency like a job loss than for the end of the world, unquote. Stephen Palmer, co-founder of Thrive Life Emergency Preparedness Supplies in American Fork, Utah, tells people. I need to mute, but I'm not on that screen. Quote, if you really believe the world is going to be ending, unquote, why'd they even do that? Then there are a lot better things you could be spending your money on. My advice is to go out and buy that Corvette you've always dreamed about instead of stocking up on food, unquote. Kevin Albee says that while his own family has a basement full of supplies, they don't anticipate having to break into a case of freeze-dried beef brisket or dehydrated carrots anytime soon. Imagine. There's just excess everywhere, excess money, excess of, people are hungry, and there's temples, there's people that are homeless, there's food. And I mean, I'm all about, preparing for, like, I live in a hurricane ridden area, hurricane prone. So it makes sense, right? But not everybody lives in these areas. Some people live in Kansas, or whatever. And I'm sure every area suffers its own things, But I just find it interesting. There's just a lot of excess. A lot of extreme, basically. It's just pedal to the metal everywhere. So it doesn't to me, what Lori and Chad did when people say extreme, okay, right? It goes par for the course. That's what everything else is in this system, in my opinion. All right. On Sunday night, Albie, his children, and grandkids plan to climb onto the roof of their house and not to escape rising flood waters. A quote, we're going up there to sit with our binoculars and watch the blood moon. We plan to enjoy ourselves. And when Monday morning rolls around, I'm pretty sure the earth will still be here. Well, and lo and behold, it was. So there's that little article from People Magazine. Okay. I'll copy and I'll put that in the chat. For you, it's caring means sharing, right? Dude, I said dude. I'm sorry. the other day I was watching this other case or listening to it. Um, not the Karen Reed case, but there's the girl that was in this program, and then some police officer corrupt, and anyway, she was homicided, pregnant. Anyway, she had special needs too, and they were talking about a I don't even know what to call it because I'm like, what? We don't hardly get ice and snow and stuff here. I mean, we get it like a nibble of it for a day, and we're like, woo! They closed down the whole damn state. But it was like a basically like how they rate hurricanes, like a category whatever blizzard. And I was like, what? Oh my God, that's horrible. Like I don't know if it just never registered for me or what, but anyways, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be ignorant. I'm just trying to be honest with you. Yeah, that too, TC, for sure. For sure, for sure. All right. So now let's go back to this. Allegedly. All right. All right. I don't know. Okay, no. Okay, so this I'm going back to I copied it and pasted it into my Canva app because I can't stand ads, and then I have it. Okay, so anyway, so this is just that broken down into slides. Um, so this goes on to say, so this is that wheat and tares article that I showed you just now right here. It's this one, but in my Canva app. So, all right. Everybody on board? All right. Everybody buckle up. All right. Another Latter-day Saint podcaster has been excommunicated. Julie Rowe caused a commotion several years ago when she was widely publicized as one of several people inspiring a massive prepper craze in September of 2015. I remember finding, and I mean, I have screenshots of it somewhere because I shared it with Jen. She's an ex-Mormon who has her own channel. Love Jen, miss Jen, and Michelle. Yeah, they lived in Salt Lake City and area. And I mean, she just really helped me. We kind of helped each other a lot in the beginning, and I don't trust too many people. So not, especially not with this. I'm just like, oh my God, I just want somebody not to lie to me and just to be upfront with me and just tell me, what does this mean? What could this mean? What are all the things this could mean? And we would just kind of go back and forth with ideas and screenshots. And so there was one that said that President Oaks was present at this blood moon thing. And I'm like, okay, I'd have to find it again to even again. And people are like, they don't just like, the leadership, they don't usually mingle with the common folk, but it's just one of those things that I always just have a pen in, because I also have a screenshot of President Oaks with Obama. I have, and plus he's, Supreme Court Justice. Then, I mean, these are just allegations. These are just things that I've heard, rumors, basically. So they're not vetted out. I don't know this. I'm just sharing it because it's just one of those things. That I remember hearing that there was something to do with Oaks and electroshock therapy, or if you want to call it therapy, for the LGBTQ community at BYU campus, and whether that's true or not, I mean, is horrible. That's freaking horrible. So again, going back to that e-meter and that energy healing kind of stuff, if your leaders are doing it, allegedly, what kind of monkey see, monkey do, I mean, they're looking up to people who speak out of both sides of their mouths, in my opinion. So what do you expect? And well, maybe what I should ask myself, that what do I expect? I just wish a lot more people saw it. Anywho, so whether that's true or not, another thing that's fascinating to me is Glenn Beck has this odd picture of him and a bunch of like, I don't even know, but I would not famous people, but people, recognizable people, if that makes any sense. And they're all standing together, facing the same direction as like this eclipse they're not looking at it, but they're all facing in the same direction, and it's weird. It just struck me as freaking. I was like, "What the fuck are they doing?" And now it's gonna piss me off. I want to go find it, but I'm just gonna look real quick. Oh yeah, I spelled it right. Hold on, while my computer is computing. Let's see. Okay, just scrolling down my Google Photos and to the bottom. I don't see it. Man, that sucks. I don't know what other keyword to use to find it. I know I have it. I know I have it. I have it. Just where? Let me just put eclipse. Or let me look at images. It's like they posed for it, but it's just odd. You know what I mean? It's just odd. Let's see. Y'all can look at what I'm looking at. I mean, like listening to his recording again about Tim Ballard, and he's like, I think I've been duped. And if you listen to it, he really doesn't go against Tim Ballard. He just kind of they're wordsmiths. Okay, I'll tell you that right now. They are artists with the words. Very, very intentional, in my opinion, very deceptive. It's just how they have a very slippery silver tongue. Come on, man. Hmm. Let's see. All right. Well, okay. Okay. I hate giving up. Interesting. That's how I feel. Y'all drive me to this, Glenn. Right there. Ah! I swear. What the hell, boy? All right. Man, I know it's just gonna be right under it, you know? I'm like, as soon as I leave, it'll be right there. I'm whole last. That's how I feel right here. I feel like I look like that. I mean, you know, if you could put a feeling to a look, that would be it. Anyways, I've heard his name. I don't even know what he's about. Wasn't he in jail or something? Or prison or something? Oh, after I saw him yelling at the temple, I swear I don't believe him one bit. It was about the children. He's a loose cannon. Children. Who? Who was yelling at the temple, girl? Oh, they had to be quiet back then. Remember, they couldn't even laugh. Now they can laugh a little bit. Total scab. See, I'm not political, but it's just like, okay, but I can't help who people are associated with because that's where I look. I don't care what side they're on. I don't care if they ate all the pills, the red pill, the blue pill, I don't care what the hell they do, subscribe to. It's just the associations, you know? Mm-mm. Okay, I give up. I lie. I'm not, I haven't. Glenn Beck. I'm trying to, oh, okay, hold on. Hold on. I'm having a memory. Watch out. Okay, we're gonna look at Crush's photos. Yeah. Double photos because you know how this is just how my Google Photos saves. I don't know why it does this. It double photos. Oh yeah, this was funny too. I grabbed this off of X. It don't have any sound. And I put that writing right there. You know, AI is a hell of a thing. I'm like, I want this app. I want this app. and I'm not sponsored, okay? But I'm open to it. I'm open to it. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just kinda I make a lot of stuff, huh? Yeah. Here, this one will make you laugh. Oh, no. No, it's not the full one. I did that. Photoshop. Here's
The
on
next slide, which
Glenn
is
Beck. I
really
mean, on Glenn
important
Beck.
news, and that is Burgess Owens. He's newly elected to the 4th
I
District,
did that.
and he's probably further to the right, and it remains to be seen because maybe he campaigned on these
He was listed
extremist
in the
right
lawsuit.
positions, and when he goes to Congress, he's going to backpedal and become more centrist. But at least the way he campaigned, he's further right than Mike Lee, and that's saying something. And so
But
he
I
has
showed that just because this is Burgess Owens. I mean, he's a senator, okay, a US senator. And again, there's this coon language. He's a black guy. Now, where I'm from, I'm just saying that racial slurs have been known to be thrown out there, like coon means dark, coon means black. I'm just saying what whenever Tylee was referred to by Chad as a raccoon, like I think his kids even use this kind of language. We had Emma put two raccoons in a wood canoe basically while the kids were missing on her Facebook profile cover photo. Um, you know, this is their way of communicating. This is what they do. Okay, this is my opinion. You don't have to take it. I'm just asking that, just I'm trying to put a puzzle together with not so many pieces. So I'm like, okay, and I won't force the puzzle piece to fit, but I will collect all the things and I'll just be like, okay, well, this is what I got. And we'll go over it together. And I mean, these are just things that could be. And I believe that they are in a secret society. I believe that's what this is. I believe that Chad and Lori were set up by leadership in order to match up the bloodline. Bloodlines are a big thing. And I'm like, well, how does that help if you don't reproduce? What's the point? But this is a way of, in my opinion, allegedly practicing polygamy in 2019, 2018. Okay. I don't think it was ever put down. It was publicly denounced, like, oh, yeah, no, we're not going to do that anymore. Now, can we become a state and bleed the beast? Thank you. Okay. So there's that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a minute. Mm-mm. I believe that like all these other quote unquote offshoots that have happened, the Lafferty brothers, Orville LeBaron for sure. All these offshoots, okay, Harmston, they all, I believe, took part in the same kind of ceremony, matching of bloodlines, and they whatever brand they were into of regular mainstream Mormonism, Brigham Young, Brigham Young's Mormonism. They're the ones that kind of went a little crazy with it, or they got found out, basically. Okay, because when my family was missing and then homicided, members of this church, not one time has the church ever mentioned their names, not even for a tax write-off that I'm aware of. Not one time have they offered to, use their huge ass platform to help look for the kids. Never have they said, "Hey, do you even want a free Book of Mormon? Um, anything? Is there anything we can do?" No, the Rexburg community did that, and they shouldn't have had to do that. Somebody should have came in. The church should have came in my opinion. Like Lauren with Hidden True Crime said that whenever Elizabeth Smart was missing, they actually had like staging areas, on church property. I want to say, don't quote me, but they would kind of huddle up and regroup and search some more. But Tylee JJ and Charles and Tammy and Joe, I mean, he was a member of the church. They weren't good enough, I guess. They weren't, and I find that fascinating. And I find that very curious because it's just another one of those things where call it a conspiracy, call it whatever you want. But don't think that I don't sit there and play that back in my mind because that's exactly what my gut told me from the very beginning. I'm like, this goes all the way up. I don't even know what up is. I don't know what it means. I didn't know anything about Mormonism. I was like, why are they saying president? But what? And a prophet? I mean, it was very confusing. And it is. It is very confusing to an outsider like myself who was going and just like nothing was just here, here's a simple a summary, here's a quick answer. No. And you get so many different answers or responses or you get so many different accounts of everybody's different experiences. Some people are purposely, like, that has nothing to do with my church. And so I'm going to make sure, you know what I mean? Some people are vindictive about it and salty or whatever. And so it's just, I was just like, what? You do have the church of the first one, or, y'all teach. Okay. But then over here, this person's saying, our church does not do that. We don't teach that. I don't know anything about that. But then you have regular church members. Then you have the secret society ones. You have the temple recommend holders who have to have a temple recommend to get in. They have to have their little Sam's card or their Costco card to get in. I don't know. I've never been to Costco, but Sam's, you have to have a club card. You flash it at the little lady in the front to get in and to pay for your stuff. So that's the secret society. And these are people who are really doubling down on their beliefs, their church, their leaders, everything that they believe in. Lori was trying to fill a void. Okay. She was, obviously. And she had already been down her fourth marriage now at that point. And she was not happy. And so, it just wasn't working out. And she escaped mentally, physically, even to the temple. If anybody was MK Ultra, it was right the hell there. That's all I'm saying. 8 hours in the damn temple a day. Again, you have a scanning card or whatever. Don't tell me, especially with all the comments we have received that I have watched and read over these last almost 6 years, almost 6 years, saying that, oh, it must have been a proxy sealing that Chad and Lori did, or they did it in somebody's backyard. And I'm just like, are you serious? I mean, whatever, I've never been in a temple, no, but I'm not dumb. Again, I'm not dumb, and I have a very good imagination, and I've read so much of it. I mean, I've seen some pictures. I don't want to go into a temple ever, because I think this all kind of is a big conspiracy, if you will. I believe that the Hosanna shout is a way for them again to gloat in our faces. If you can just step away from the church for a minute. I'm sure I don't have any I'm sure I don't have any members here. It's like, I don't want your church. I'm not trying to take down your church. Oh my God. Can you take up for my family once, please? They're humans. They were human. They had lives that were real and love that was real. They made a difference in this world, and they still do. More than any of those church leaders all put together would ever dream of doing. Okay? They're despicable. So they're real. So can we pretend that for once that my family or human beings, your family, you, me, that humanity is more important than your belief system? Okay. Believe what you want. But can we just know for a fact that human life is precious and that all lives matter, especially children's lives matter? Can we just pretend just don't put your trust in these idols, these people who are selling you God, basically. They're selling you your salvation. They're a middleman. And they are no different than Julie Rowe. They are no different than the Pope. They're no different than Chad Daybell, Tim Ballard, Tom Harrison. You pick one, throw it in there, whatever denomination you are. They're no different. These are people who are using the doctrines and scriptures of God, Jesus, your belief system, and they are preying on you. And they are, and it's sad, and I'm sorry, and it sucks. And I wish it weren't true, but it is. They all go hang out. If the Catholic Church to a Mormon is the whore of Babylon, right? Well, they go hang out every damn year. Okay, the Pope and the leaders of the church. Elder Ballard has shook hands with Pope. So did my papa. I'm just saying, crazy, huh? So I'm just saying, please, let's put life above men, women, belief systems, a building, a temple that's made out of a lot of money worth of stuff that could, it could house homeless people. There's tent cities, all right. Okay, where's it's so double standard, so gross. And they're building more, for what? In a global scale, for what? What do they know that we don't? They have special insight of the quote unquote second coming. It is New Jerusalem, but it's shaped under the acronym NWO, if you know what I mean. That's just what I see. But, who am I? Anyways, but all that to say that this Uncle Tom, coon, token, these are all terms right here. I've heard Tim say this, Uncle Tom. Coon means, I think, dark. Janet Rustin also says it about Adam Herbett's she's on The Last Dispensation talking about how he's something about a raccoon or a coon. And I'm like, oh, they just called him dark. They just marked him, basically, to all their other little Satanist people, friends, allegedly, in my opinion. So I just find it interesting. But anyways, all that because I'm looking, yeah, this is what it is. There you go. I made that with AI. See their faces all contorted? That's about what they look like, I'm sure. Just saying. Y'all, I didn't watch Eyes Wide Shut till about probably about 6 months ago, I guess. And that music, I'm just like, oh my god, when they're just chanting or whatever, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's so dark. It's so dark. Another thing is whenever Tim Ballard was talking to President Trump, back in 20 whatever, President Trump even did one of those little Freemasonry signals too. I was like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have seen that. No, and this one here, yeah, skull and bone. Oh, you don't see his belt buckle here, but hold on. I made this. Okay. Well, now it's going to pause on me. Let's get out of it. No, it doesn't. Oh, yeah. I've never shared this before. That's a good picture. Just saying. Real life. Reality. It's sad. It didn't have to be this way. And it doesn't have to happen again and again and again and again. And insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. They're just as deadly, I wish people would just freaking stop trying to control every damn thing. Oh yeah, this is his Tom Harrison's letter to priesthood leader. Yeah. Anyways, all right, I'm way off the beaten path here. If there was one, it all goes hand in hand, though. Where's the Pope? I'm looking for Elder Ballard with the Pope. I think it's all a ruse. I really do. Really, really do. Oh, this one was interesting. Frank Vandersloot right here, Idaho's wealthiest billionaire. And this is a representative for my state of Louisiana, Johnson. I was like, and he peddles around with Trump and everything. I'm like, okay, I see you. Anyways, crazy people. Yeah, there's another one. Anyways, birds of a feather, man. They flock together. There it is. There we go. 2023. Right there. There's Nelson. There's Ballard. There's the Pope. Interesting, right? Mormon marriages. March 14, 2019. There's Tom Harrison. A renowned therapist and university professor, Tom Harrison, to talk about the importance of, it looks like it would be integrity. Anyways, let me know when y'all find it. All right. This sucks. Here you go. That's from whenever Judge trial was happening. I just riders on the storm. I don't know who to credit that to. Anyways, good Lord. Can't help but the whiteboard meeting in August of 2019. Okay. All right. Let me get out of here. And I'm probably taking way too long. Let's see. This one. All right. So that was then. Prepper craze. Prepper pride, right? Okay, so although she's kept a lower profile in recent years, Julie continues to share her visions in podcasts, books, and media interviews. She also practices and teaches the Emotion Code, a holistic method combining energy healing and muscle testing. Sounds a lot like that e-meter. That e-meter, y'all, I'm telling you, when it said that it measured whether someone was having bad feelings, or I don't know, don't quote me, but it really sounded a lot like whether somebody was light or dark. And we all have read and heard that people like Tom Harrison, who are even intermingling with missionaries, I guess prospects. I don't know what to say about that, or to call it, but whether they go on a mission or not. Then you have Ken Crow, he's got his handle in it, and you got Tim Ballard, who definitely believes in light and dark. Okay, you can tell just by reading the things that he says. You can tell by listening to the things he says. Light and dark. He's just trying to shine a light in the dark areas that he just has to go. Julie, the same way. Okay. Chad Daybell, Lori is the same way. So, all right. She also, I already said that. Did I? Yeah. Okay. Background. Did I do that right? Oh, it appears that both her teachings and involvement in energy work were factors in her April 9th excommunication. Background. Julie Rowe first came to the public's attention in 2014 with the publication of her first two books, A Greater Tomorrow, My Journey Beyond the Veil, and The Time Is Now. These books describe what she experienced and witnessed during a near-death experience in 2004. Her first book, A Greater Tomorrow, was released in May of 2014, Chad Daybell, and was wildly successful. Okay. Publisher Chad Daybell said in 2016, quote, "The first printing sold out within a month, and the ebook version smashed my book distributor's all-time records." We know he was all about LDS top this and top that, and All I do is win, win, win. Anyways, oh, if you know, you know. And they say that. Anyways, all right. We're going to be some weird grandmas, right? All right. So the two decided she should, the two, Chad and Julie, decided that she should follow up with a second book, The Time Is Now, which would include quotes from LDS prophets concerning the future, as well as answer many questions Julie had been asked on how to prepare spiritually and temporally for troubled times, unquote. So people were asking Julie, well, why? She's offering it, right? Yeah, and people don't just come up to me and ask me weird random shit. I mean, I'll talk philosophy with you all the livelong day, but no. All right. So this says the book was did I do that right? Yeah, because the two of them decided. That book was released in November of 2014 and proved to be just as popular as its predecessor. Siegel Book, one of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for-profit companies, love Julie's books. Daybell explained that Deseret Book had been burned on. This is Daybell. Chad Daybell is saying this to this paper, okay? Because that's where Wheat and Tares got it from. Daybell explained that Deseret Book had been burned on the whole near-death experiences topic with the controversial 2012 book BOG, Visions of Glory, one man's astonishing account of the last days. But Siegel book buyers had no such qualms. Nothing to see here. In 2015, Siegel contacted Daybell to increase advertisement space for Julie's books. Daybell said, I was elated because the only books that receive that much space are typically written by general authorities. He was $, ding, 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 ding. The larger advertisement boosted sales even more. But then the church released an interior memo to church educational system instructors, that's the school instructors, in late August. So this is 15 or 2014? In 2015, I guess. All right. By August 2015, hold on. Yeah. By August 2015, Julie's books had been featured in 13 straight Siegel book catalogs, which is almost unheard of. And this behind the scenes of the Julie Rowe media frenzy is just, there probably was a picture there. And anyway, so it's just a caption. But that's the title of the article, would be Behind the Scenes of the Julie Rowe Media Frenzy by Chad Daybell, president of Spring Creek Book Company. You heard it here. But then the church released an interior memo to church educational system instructors in late August, specifically calling out Julie's first book, A Greater Tomorrow, as inappropriate for classroom use. So who was putting them up to teaching or using Julie's book as an aid or whatever in their lessons at the school? That's interesting. Although people assumed teachers were tempted to use Julie's book for her end time predictions, Julie's publisher, this is interesting. I don't know why I didn't catch this before. Julie's publisher later hypothesized that it was her visions of Old Testament events that were the real concern. This sounds like, I think we've been married before in a past life. This is the same thing that Tim Ballard, I mean, we know that. This is nothing new, but it's just interesting to see Chad Daybell acknowledging this. In this statement right here, he knows exactly what the hell it is, and he will drive it home. He knows exactly what's going on here. Doing all this wifery swap, the wife swap and spiritual wifery, polygamy. He knows. So it says, well, this is Chad Daybell. Well, they didn't put quotes, so I don't know. But, well, the new seminary year was just underway and the students were studying the Old Testament. Well, I'll be damned. As readers know, Julie spends several pages in A Greater Tomorrow describing what she saw concerning ancient old prophets. Julie gives detailed accounts about Adam and Eve, Noah's Ark, Abraham and Isaac, and even Potiphar's, I don't know how to say that, lustful wife that aren't in the scriptures or in seminary manuals. This is Chad Daybell acknowledging this shit. Undoubtedly, many instructors had read the book during the previous year and were supplementing their lessons with these very interesting tidbits. You know, with the patriarchal, like, aura of this group here, it's amazing. I know this isn't how it is, but the closed-minded me is just like, can you imagine? I couldn't imagine being a child or a woman in this area, in this arena at all. And they just like Chad right here, he just sounds like a damn know-it-all. One of those guys, that he done been there, done that. He done remote viewed there. He done uh, you know, punched his green frog card. He knows it all. Anyways, undoubtedly many instructors had read he knew this, read the book during the previous year and were supplementing their lessons with these very interesting tidbits, Chad says. So this teaching has gone within the church's CES system. It's just interesting. I still have never received any explanation from the church about the internal memo, Chad says, but that's my assessment of why a caution was issued. Again, know it all. My computer's making a noise. Julie and I, insert self here, right? Julie and I wholeheartedly agree with the church's stance that these accounts should not be shared in seminary or institute classes. Yeah, that's because y'all reek of the no integrity. There's none. It missed you. Okay, it's still flying. It's can't find you. Okay, that's how little tiny you are. You're like over there down underneath Earth surface. Anyways, but just Mr. Know-it-all and Mr. Oh yeah, we agree with the church stance that these should not be shared. Well, no shit, cuckoo, because y'all are crazy and y'all are like, oh, we're gonna have our freaking temple recommend you and Hector, and everybody else. Please note, this is Chad. Okay, he's like doubling down right here. Please note that Julie's second book, The Time Is Now, was not included in that statement, which lends credence to my Old Testament theory. Well, Chad, damn Detective Daybell solved it all here. Unfortunately, the church's warning against Julie's book came out when people were on edge about the apocalyptic blood moon of September 2015. Two Christian pastors, John Hagee and Mark Blitz, popularized the theory that, quote, the series of 4 consecutive lunar eclipses, unquote, between August 2014 and September 2015 signaled the, quote, beginning of the end times, unquote. Since news outlets already assumed the church disliked Julie's book due to end time predictions, it was easy to merge her story with the wider hysteria of doomsday preppers. Again, I can kind of relate to this because I see how it gets lumped in with prepper. It gets lumped in with every damn thing that the church just wants to tell its members like, no, that's that Denver snuffer, that damn Denver snuffer, damn apostate. When he's talking about the same damn thing, passing the heavenly whatever gift, breath, I forget what it's called. But Lori read that book too. The second comforter. That's what a second comforter is this code phrase that gets you into the church of the firstborn, because the church of the firstborn is not real. It is just a theory. It is just a title. It is just a, hey kid, you made it. Here's your sash, Lori, and it says Queen of the Church of the Firstborn with other members who are also in this club. You graduated. Okay. You made it, girl. You exalted, and you're translated too. It depends on your vibrations though, right? Anything above 1500, allegedly. Anyways, when news outlets reached out to the church for comment, the church responded with a summary of the church's position on emergency preparedness. What about asshole members who were teaching this specific Old Testament ancient prophet bullshit? Past life, Mormon, multiple mortal probations, reincarnation, aka quit changing definitions. First off. All right. They said, quote, the writings. Wait, what? What? Responded with a summary of the church's position on emergency preparedness, ending with, why they end with, quote, the writings and speculations of individual church members. Oh, there's something in between there they didn't share. Okay. The writings and speculations of individual church members, some of which have gained currency recently, should be considered as personal accounts or positions that do not reflect church doctrine. Unquote. That's bad when you got to tell grown folks this, because you're a corporation. Incorporation. As it says, after the media frenzy, September came and went, but the preparations didn't slacken. Julie formed the nonprofit Greater Tomorrow Relief Fund in November of 2015. I know, right? Tim's forming nonprofits. Chad Daybell's forming a company. Um, Julie's is to help those who have been soul trafficked, right? Prove it. Give me some receipts. You soul trafficking? Or you? Oh, and I just said the T word. My bad. She got me. One description on her blog stated, as conditions in the United States worsen due to natural disasters and civil unrest, millions of innocent people will be affected, and it'll be fear, 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 fear monger. Right? They may be forced to leave their homes, taking with them only those items they can carry. The Greater Tomorrow Relief Fund, have no fear, the Greater Tomorrow Relief Fund is here, has been established in preparation for such situations. It is a nonprofit 501c3 organization headquartered in Overland Park, Kansas. A network, y'all, of volunteers have been organized in communities across the United States to help those in need. Again, I really think it's just some of that shell stuff, just shell companies. I'm not saying all shell, but there's just some tomfoolery here. Any donations will be used to buy supplies, okay, and other items needed for disaster relief, says the same woman who, Mom sent me this a couple days ago, I think. Let me pull it up real quick. I'll just read it to you. Oh, she sent it to me and Jason. Mom and Jason. Come on. Jason and Chuck. Jason and Mama. Okay, I have it under Mama. Okay. So Mom sent me this Monday at 10:21. It's just anyways. It says, and this is from Julie Rowe. It's on like a little flyer. It says, asking each of my followers to donate $1. Please, I need help. Going to lose my house and my business due to sickness, divorce, abuse, 5 brain traumas in the last year and a half. Please, if you can help, just donate $1. Please. There's periods after every freaking word. Forever grateful, period. Sad it has come to this, but I have tried everything I can think of, short of selling my body. I refuse to live like this. Please, if you actually care about me and the work I do to help others heal and move on from trauma, I beg of you. Love for God and all people. Julie Barnett. I have $3.67 in my bank account now. $3.67. That's it. The Venmo of $7.50 won't get to my account for 3 days. Cry me a river. Julie Barnett Venmo at Phoenix Rising 2024. You can also send donations via check or other cash or Visa card, etc. to P.O. Box 609 Fairview, Utah 84629. So I just thought it's kind of interesting, So there's that. And let me upload it real quick so I can, because you got to see it. You just really do. So you can screenshot it and share it. Let me turn my Wi-Fi off right here. Anyway, so any donations will be used to buy supplies, allegedly, and other items needed for disaster relief efforts. Allegedly, right? These goods and services will serve the poor, the weak, the homeless, and the hungry. I wonder if they'll feed the soul or help the soulless. I'm just asking. The Greater Tomorrow Relief Fund post on Julie Rowe Prepare, which of course that's a defunct website now. Of course. Ooh. Megan, we should we should plan one of these and just do a whole all-out blitz and do pre-record even on Julie Rowe. It would be interesting. Plus, you're so smart. Okay, I'm just trying to upload. Move. You ever talk to your phone? I do. Upload. Y'all, my iPhone updated and I can't stand it now. Like the photos and stuff. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Especially on my oh god dang. Hold on, being difficult. Allegedly. All right, let me get back over there. Upload. Oh, there it is. Add. Okay. Let me go pull that up. Allegedly. Okay. Right here. Okay. There it is. Sorry, it was like Act of Congress, but here we are. Am I showing the right page? Yeah. Hey, Carolina. Well, what? Yeah, I know. They do. She's gonna take the money and then start the OnlyFans. Oh my god. That is the winning comment of the night. Of course, I haven't been able to read them all, but I mean, come on now. Look. Okay, let me blow it up. Let me blow it up for you. See how she did? Please, period. I need help, period. Going to lose my house and my business, period. Due to sickness, period. Divorce. I mean, whatever. You reap what you sow. And Julie Rowe, you a tough row to hoe. I don't know. Just saying. I extended out to her, and because I was like, because I'm an empath and I'm a human with compassion. And anyways, and so right before Chad's trial, I was like, this really does have to be affecting her. It just does. And as we all know, yeah, pretty much. Because that's when she did all those even more crazy TikTok videos and just all the weird thing and all the crap. She did a bunch of witchcraft on us or something. I'm alpha or whatever the hell she said. I don't even know. I don't look her directly in the eyes at all, ever. I'm like, I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever bounces off of me lands on you. Whatever. I forgot the damn thing. But yeah, so it says, again, asking each of my followers to donate $1. Please, I need help going to lose my house and my business due to sickness, divorce, abuse, five brain traumas in the last year and a half. Girl, get you a helmet. We will pull together as a community and we'll buy you a helmet. What color? Okay, you might want to wear one. You're freaking, I bet you don't get to carry life insurance and things like that. Or do you? And you just, fibbing. Anyways, 5 brain traumas in the last year and a half. Please, if you can help, just donate $1. Please. Forever grateful. Sad it has come to this, but I have tried everything I can think of, short of selling my body. I refuse to live like this. But like you said, she'll be on OnlyFans next. Back page. Remember that? Anyways, please, if you actually care about me and the work I do to, oh God, help others heal and move on from trauma, I beg of you. This must be a call out. Love for God and all people. At least she capitalizes God. Julie Barnett. and she has 367 in her bank account. Girl, I'm negative. Okay, straight up. Cry me a damn river. Ugh. $3.67. What do those codes mean? That's some codes, some number codes. That's what she does. That's it. The Venmo of 750. Your Venmo donor will not get to my account for 3 days. Damn you. $750, girl. I will enjoy it in 3 days though. Thank you. Mm-mm. Anyways, Julie Barnett, Venmo. And here's that. And then she says you can also send donations via check or other cash or Visa card to this. And it says Utah, whatever. It's P.O. Box. But I mean, this is just my 2 cents. Okay. I just really, the way that it looks, I mean, just general, just a blanket looking over as things are happening. I feel like somebody from upper management and their organization of the church over there, allegedly, it appears that there's this driving force or this I swear this, and this resonates with my gut. It has since the beginning. I just couldn't explain it, and I still can't. I can't tie all the things, but I tie it a lot. And there's too many. Too many. It should be it's a conflict of interest what's going on here. Um, or leaders say that they don't, they're not supposed to be like investing um in these in business ventures or anything. They make an income. They draw a check. They're not just like laymen, like they make everybody else damn do. Okay? No. They have all these corporations and businesses and failed businesses and penny stocks and pump and dump schemes allegedly, and just nonprofit organizations that are, it's been said, and this has been said by the actual women in the federal lawsuit against Tim Ballard. I've shared this before, and it's the most profound statement ever. The anti-raffickers are the raffickers. And I'm like, amen. Put a bow on it. It's about as pretty as it's going to get. That's what this is, and that's what's going on. And they can polish a damn turd and make it look and smell really nice, but it's still a turd. So where are the victims? I remember when the story first came out, being publicly denounced by the church, which is actually Gordon Bowen, by the way. Gordon Bowen, he'd be calling all the shots behind the scenes in that shadow church government there, allegedly. And so, forgot what I was going to say, and I deserve that. Yeah. So I forget. I was just talking about when okay, it'll come back. I have a lot of things to say, but I feel like there are puppet masters, so to speak, basically through people like Julie Rowe, who are in the same club as them, the same little affiliations, associations. Maybe they know each other's families. I don't know. I don't have the answers. Okay. But I will. And I do. I mean, I've been finding more and more and more and more. And these connect a lot. I believe that Ballard and Ballard are actually related. Where? I don't know. Why it's being hidden? It's even more beyond me. And I mean, I can't wait till we find it and we're just like, you're going to lie about this, then you're really a piece of shit. Even more, because it's just that extra thing that nobody's asking if they are related just because they have the same last names. But it's just something they offer up. And it's just like when a kid is like, oh no, mommy, I just have one chocolate. And then, they have like all the chocolates, you know what I mean? Like the thing that they offer up is very sus to me. And I'm just like, anyways, either way, it's gross. It's neither here nor there. It'll just show, I'm telling you, of a church that actually, this is what the whole thing is doing, temple work and the lineage and da-da-da, and allegedly M. Russell Ballard thought and said that whatever, that he was related to Joseph Smith, by Hiram Smith, and then ultimately Jesus Christ. Okay, so, I mean, the way I read the scripture, the Mormon information that I've taken in, is that it's all about this superior bloodline, which are Assyrians, and I mean this goes back to Adolf time, and I'm sure before that, but that's about where I stop. Um, and it's funny too, the Nephites and Nephilim. I'm just like, that's an interesting little wordplay, you know? It really is. I mean, again, I think that all the churches are working together in tandem, united order, which is an actual doctrine or whatever. Joseph Smith, Tim Ballard even talks about it in an article that I pulled up right before I came on too. Except he called it something different. It was the first time I'd heard that. He calls it, let me get back to the bottom here. Oh, it'll upload. Hold on. My lips are chapped, sha. Okay. I made this too. All right. Oh, am I even on that? Okay, yeah. Yeah. We were married before in past life. I swear. Hey, girl. Anyways, I do stuff like this. It's just weird. It's a way for me to process things. All right. It's just the same thing. But it was in the article that, okay, it was from Deseret. Okay, hold on. I'm just trying to see where I'm at here. Okay, here we go. It's backwards though. All right. I mean, so it's just kind of get a timeline on Tim, right? About when his books came out, because I really think that there's leaders or Mormon Mafia, allegedly. Don't kill me. But I don't know. I don't feel mentally off. I value my life. I want to live. Just letting you know that. Mechanically, everything's sound. Everything's fine. So just in case anything happens. But anyways, this says Timothy Ballard, or Tim Ballard, the Operation Underground Railroad founder and the author are one and the same. This is June 28, 2017. Okay. Right. Oh, I'm going to go this way. Timothy Ballard was recently with two friends when one asked about his latest books, quote, The Lincoln Hypothesis and The Washington Hypothesis. Mention of the books flabbergasted the other friend, a man who had worked with Ballard for a year. What books? The man said. I have been in Deseret Book how many times, and I've seen, oh my God. What books? The man said. I have been in Deseret Books how many times, and I've seen those books. My bad. I've always thought, what a coincidence. That guy has the same name as my boss. Interesting. Brian Howard, the host of Latter-day Profiles, admitted to not knowing until preparing for an interview with Ballard. Okay. You're also an author? I was surprised because I had heard about Operation Underground Railroad, but I didn't realize all the books you had done. And fascinating topics as well, Howard said. Most people hear the name Tim Ballard and identify him as the founder and CEO of OUR, the guy who slaps handcuffs on ex-trafficking criminals. Few recognize he is also Timothy Ballard, the best-selling author of several books that explore connections between key events. That's what I do. And leaders. That's what I do in American history and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And me too. You too, huh? Yeah. We're all here. Common interest. Quote, it's funny, unquote, said Ballard, a graduate of Brigham Young University. People will mention the books or OUR, but it's rarely together. For Ballard, a husband and father of 7, soon to adopt 2 more, his work to rescue children from human trafficking and his passion for American history are connected. That ain't no lie. Digging into and writing about the lives of key historical figures like Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and others, along with exploring battlefields and monuments, has not only inspired him but has strengthened his Latter-day Saint faith. As Americans prepare to celebrate Independence Day, the former alleged CIA special agent and undercover operative for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security discussed his love of U.S. history and how it has influenced his life. Well, why is it always not right? When Ballard was in 5th grade, he went on a field trip with the Freedoms Foundation at Valley Forge to various historic sites in the eastern United States. Quote, "It was there that I felt something. History wasn't just dates and names in a book. Being there, I felt something," unquote, Ballard said, explaining that the field trip was when he fell in love with the history. Today, it's Ballard's opinion that when people visit historic sites and have soul-stirring feelings, it's not by mistake. Allegedly. Let's see. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so it says, today it's Ballard's opinion that when people, I already said that, quote, "I truly believe that what you are feeling at these sites is the spirit, and not just the spirit, but the spirits of those people," unquote, he said. Quote, "I believe people are at those monuments and on those battlefields to testify of the truth of what they were doing, what they were fighting for. That's what you feel when you are walking at Gettysburg or Dorchester Heights or the Lincoln Memorial. I believe there are angels there testifying," unquote. Ain't that interesting? I wonder what Chad Daybell felt when he was at the graveyard. Just saying. Rare. All right. So then they left a link to a video. I didn't watch it, but years later, Ballard accepted a job with the CIA and moved with his wife and their firstborn to Washington, D.C. It was his first visit to the nation's capital. And even though it was almost midnight when they arrived, he wanted to climb the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and pay homage to the 16th president of the United States. So, what do you think is going to happen? All right. He says, "Yeah, it was around 1 a.m. in the shadows." I was like, wow, what an interesting choice of words. It was around 1 a.m. in the shadows of the Grand Lincoln sculpture that Ballard held his baby son and felt something spiritual. Let's see. He says is that right? The next thing, yeah. "There was something about Lincoln," Ballard said. "I couldn't articulate it, but it was something connected to the Restoration." Here's that divine intervention, okay? Ballard's impression that night led him on a 10-year personal investigation into Lincoln and possible gospel ties and resulted in him publishing the Lincoln Hypothesis in 2014. 2014. Julie Rowe. Yeah, anyways. As part of his research, Ballard went to the Library of Congress to examine its first edition copy of the Book of Mormon, which Lincoln checked out for about 8 months, allegedly. They believe that Lincoln checked out this Book of Mormon for about 8 months during the Civil War. I wonder if he had a library card. Anyways, Ballard described his experience in great detail in his book and came away with some thought-provoking conclusions, including one about the timing of events. And so I know for sure I watched this episode on John DeLyn's Mormon Stories podcast. Go check it out. I don't remember the name of it, but it's something to do with this. All right. Ballard describes his experience in great detail. I already said that. Okay. 7 days after he turned the book back in, he lays out the first preliminary copy of the Emancipation Proclamation to an awestruck and disappointed cabinet who didn't want to see this happen. Ballard said, "What was he doing with this book?" Oh, look, finding light. Again, light, dark, zombies. Finding light. In addition to writing the Lincoln Hypothesis, Ballard published the Covenant, which is interesting because that is all what this is about. The Covenant, new and everlasting, is polygamy. The Covenant, and it's all about this new world order idea. Okay, that's the second coming of Christ in their minds. The American Covenant is volume 1 and 2, 2011 and 2014. And the Covenant Lincoln and the War, 2012, and the Washington Hypothesis, 2016. The interesting thing here is that in the story that I'm reading to you guys about from Wheat and Tares about Chad Daybell and Julie Rowe, Julie's second book, I forget the name of it. Not the time, or I don't know. Anyways, Julie's second book was also kind of, she left all the Mormon kind of stuff out of it to appeal to a wider, broader audience, as did right here with the American Covenant and the Covenant, where where Elder Ballard allegedly helped Tim basically take all the Mormon stuff out of his book, The Covenant, the American Covenant, okay, and appeal to a more broad, wider audience, Christian audience, because it's not enough, I mean, and it goes hand in hand with the broader picture. And I mean, I expect this trend to continue. For Moroni on the Google map, when you go search Google Maps, for Moroni's picture to be replaced, as it already has, by the cross as a symbol of religious institutions for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I mean, you notice the trend and you're just like, And so allegedly this whole Operation Underground Railroad and saving children under the guise of humanitarian organization, to help people with this philanthropic business ventures and who knows who and promoting who. And when you watch these, the 2016 whiteboard meeting that landed in my lap, and you listen to the people he targets, that they target, allegedly, it sounds like they targeted me. They named Tony Robbins, Elder Ballard, Glenn Beck, Lindsey Sterling, the Clinton Foundation, Montel Williams, Clay Olson with Fight the New Drug, Governor Herbert, or Abear, we say Abear here, Herbert, I think, Sean Reyes, the Carlos Slim family, which is crazy to me. They own the New York Times or New York Post, I forget. Yeah. Then you have who else? Damn. There's a lot of people. But then you'll hear like the recording that was attached to the audio, attached to the federal files, the federal lawsuits filed, against him from these women, these ops who were allegedly victimized by Tim and his couple shrews and just the whole shenanigans, okay? And they say that, all this was under the guise of the anti-raffickers are the raffickers. And I'm just like, wow. And just all this much money amassed and it's all just kind of funneling into timballard.com. I'm sure it's changed since it's become public knowledge, so keep your eyes on that there, law enforcement people, hashtag he belongs with Diddy, as do many of these other assholes. And it just so happens, that Tylee, JJ, Charles, and Tammy were homicided kind of in and around this basically, I mean, I know what Diddy's is. It's like a ring. I know what Jeffrey of the Islands was. It's a ring. And that other guy, what's his name? Mike Jeffries, it's a ring. And so, and we know Scientology has a branch. Holy shit. Actually, Tim Ballard had, or, OUR had mentioned Ashton Kutcher, and then Ashton Kutcher even called back or called the Vice News or whoever reported on it and was like, no. And so I'm just like, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, they talked about Marisol Nichols, friend Jenna Elfman, John Travolta. I'm trying to think of all the people. But I mean, so this is just a September 4th, 2016, this whiteboard meeting. I'm sure it's a preview, a preamble to, the 2019 alleged whiteboard meeting, that showed how it's all going to flow. And what the whole thing was, it was to bring new members into the covenant, which is whose plan, by the way? A wider audience. Why? I mean, isn't that why you would change your symbol on Google Maps from Moroni to a cross? Because Christians aren't really, they're like, who is that? When they see Moroni, they're like, what? Hmm. And so they're just going into this direction, in my opinion, and it's a conspiracy, in my opinion, for sure. I would say it's a pretty big network enterprise, so it just, to me, it seems like I see more proof of the church leaning in that direction versus just Tim. Tim just seems to be about money, money, money. And but he's just kind of being mentored, in a sense. I don't know. I will. Thank you. Appreciate it. Anyway, so it is nuts, and it all goes kind of, no, it don't kind of, it all goes hand in hand. It does. I mean, it just does. I wish it didn't. I wish it didn't. I really wish it didn't, but it does. And I mean, it doesn't do me any good to lie to myself. It doesn't do you any good to lie to yourself. It doesn't do the victims of this story of this is the heart of the matter for me and our family members and people who loved the victims. And there's more victims than just Charles, Tylee, Tammy, JJ, Joe, Brandon. There's so many more. There's named, unnamed, unknown at this point, even never been found or never identified, or there's so many people. And at one point, I remember when I forgot to say all this earlier. It's one of those things I forgot. Whenever this first came out and hit the airwaves, the lawsuits, okay? Tim Ballard he was trying to save face. Okay. And it's interesting to watch go down because you're just like, I would shut the F up. That's what I would do. I would just zip it and zip it good. And I would talk through my attorneys. That's why you have a defense fund to pay your damn attorneys, allegedly. Why don't you just shut the hell up? Okay, I learned that from Scott Reich right here. Yeah. Okay, you shut up. And you have all these fancy lawyers, but you still bump your gums. And you tell on yourself because you can't help it. Because people, and in my opinion, people like this, they are psychopathic and or narcissistic. They just have this, they can't stand it. And they gloat about this in plain sight, right in front of our faces. They gloat about these things. It's a slippery language. I know what kind of people these are. And they're the kind that when you have two missing children in a high profiled worldwide case. Now, this case is known worldwide. Lori and Chad Daybell, the Doomsday Mom, the cult mom, Doomsday Prophet Chad Daybell, Church of the Firstborn, right? Then I forgot what I was going to say. um they're victims in this. They were just 2019 version, okay? Straight up. They were just victims of 2019 of this reckless, psychopathic, money hungry, greedy, power control, uh wealth. I mean, it's gross exploitation to the highest heaven of Mormonism. Okay, it's high. Okay, it's up there with the elites. Okay, that's how high this the power and control and the greed and just the evil. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's not, we didn't end up with 3 of my family members being alive. They're unalived, very egregiously justifiable in some of the scriptures that have been produced. I mean, so we can argue if it's Chad, if it's Visions of Glory, if it's Tom Harrison's teachings, if it's Tim Ballard's, if it's Julie Rowe's, if it's Tom, Dick, and Harry's, Peter, James, and John. But ultimately, it falls on the leaders, in my opinion. Yes, individually, Chad, he was sentenced to death. Lori, she was sentenced a lot of times, multiple. She likes them multiple. She still has to go to Arizona and face trial there. I mean, I feel sorry for her and them, all the people, Jody, Hildebrandt, Ruby Frankie, all the people, all the Hamblin victims, alleged victims, Gordon Bowen's alleged victims. I mean, there's so many victims in these people's wake, in my opinion, allegedly, that it's frightening. It's really frightening. And that's where this is. That's what this is. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's Chad or Julie or whatever. I'm just wondering where these ideas are culminating, where they're coming from, who's saying what first and why and when and where, what was going on at the time, because that's the only way to really understand it, I think, is just to kind of, what's behind the curtain, what's beyond the veil. Okay. And I really think it's people who are pushing these peons, basically. Why? I don't know. Psychopaths? I don't know. I'm never going to be able to monetize with the way I talk. Just saying. It's sickening, y'all. Miss Chronic Chronicles, my own public library has the DVD still on the shelf. I told them, but they refused to take it down. I'm gonna have to go back and read your comments because I haven't been able to keep up. Hey, Scooter. If there is a Satan, he's having a heyday in the Mormon church from the top to the bottom. And I'll say, like that meme says, all I'm saying is I've never seen Satan and the leaders in the same room at the same time. Anyway, I've used that for Lori and Chad, but in the way this works, the generational abuse, the way this works, the blackmail. I mean, hint, hint. Tim Ballard recorded everything. Hint, hint. So did Diddy, and it's to prove and provide and manipulate the things that they do capture, doing the nasty shit that they do, in my opinion. And then use it to fearmonger along with the NDAs. Boy, those go hand in hand. Yeah. Unless there's a crime being committed, then you're free from that NDA. So yeah, I mean, I just always feel like I have to convince and like, I mean, I could go on and on and on. And I do all the time. And Jason hears it, poor thing. But I know that, I mean, they're worth it. And it's a promise I made. If I didn't make a promise, I probably wouldn't feel as bad. And I don't feel bad. I feel driven. I feel I whenever I found out my Uncle Charles was murdered, this is pre anything with the kid. No, nobody was missing. None of that. But Uncle Charles was murdered, and I was just like, it hit me. And it knocked the shit out of me. It knocked my breath out of me. It knocked I don't know what else to say, but it shook me. I don't know how else to explain it. And it's just like And I just started to be really hyper vigilant, and it's not like that. It was very spiritual. It was very just it was my eyes wide open moment, where just everything shattered. I felt anger. I felt everything just like prioritized itself in my mind, my family, like who went where, everything, my family here, they come first, turns out, like, wow. Looking back and noticing how this kind of worked for me or how it happened for me. But it's like in that moment, I realized that family it's important. They're the most important thing. Human life is the most important thing. Leaving this place in a better state than what you got it at is what it's worth. The kids, the children, all the children, all of the children, not just Tylee and JJ. They're just 2019 in Mormon USA. And so there's going to be more Orville LeBarons. There has been. There's going to be more Lafferty brothers. There has been. There's going to be more James Harmston and the Moody's and Hamblins and Gordon Bowens and Levitts. And I mean, these families also are generational. You have the Meldrums. There's a lot here, and it's a lot to unpack. And it's really like, until you like really study these people and what they're doing and what they're into and why they say the things that they say, and birds of a feather flock together. And when you see how this all kind of works behind the curtain, it's frightening. It scared the shit out of me. And it's confusing, but then it gives me answers too. I'm just like, okay. Okay. Now, Lori and Chad, they're exactly where they put themselves. They are exactly where the hell they put themselves. You can say no. You can say I'm leaving. You can say F you. You can say whatever you want. You don't say, here you go, sacrifice. Here you go. Because no one was murdered here. No one. That's her story, and she's sticking to it. And if she's like not, she's still she's going so far, in my opinion, like with the whole Tylee taking her victim and re-victimizing her even more, and it pisses me the hell off. I know it pisses us all off. Oh my God, I know. It's nonsensical, but she would rather run with this story. She would rather be convicted. She would rather not do a plea deal. She'd rather not even bargain. And I believe it's because she took an oath, a blood oath, and she made a pact with the damn devil. And part of that was, you know, because if they do say this stuff, they do know what's going to happen to them. They repeat it, slit your throat and will disembowel you. And yeah, they value their lives too much. They're narcissistic, in my opinion. They're all about themselves. So it's blackmail. It's all blackmail. It's exploitation like no other. It's the one constant thing I can throw on everything in this whole damn story. Exploitation. Exploit. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've listened to people ask this question all the time. They're like, "Oh my God, are they gonna get divorced?" And I'm like, if so, it'd be legally, because remember, they didn't get married in the temple. They didn't get it sealed. Wink, wink. Do you see what I'm saying? They're in a conundrum right there because they're sealed under in secret, secret society. They're sealed in the shadows. It's nothing to be proud of. So, there's that. So they can never do the annulment thing. I mean, if they do, then we'll really know some things. Okay. So I would love for somebody to make a move. If anything, if I had to bet, I would say that Chad would file for divorce from Lori. I don't see Lori ever giving in. Ever. Ever, ever. Yeah, I know, huh, Angela? I know. Let me, I want to show you guys this one thing. My stomach is making so many noises, and I apologize for that. We won't be here much longer. Hello, feet. I didn't finish that article, but that's why God made a tomorrow. That's what my mama used to say. Okay, what was I about to do? All right, I remember now. Okay. I just look at my search history. Yeah. I couldn't be more specific. Let's see. Hold on. You know, whenever I watched Colby last night, he had his little Star Wars thing, helmet on, and I died laughing. I'm so glad that he can just be silly, you know? It was good. It was a lighthearted moment to watch with him. It was hard to he had a hard time and he really had to skip over parts. He was analyzing like Miss Mojo, uh, basically Sins of Our Mother and 2020 interviews. So there's a lot of things he hadn't watched about the case, you know, but he's all on, and I am 144,000% on board with the whole media narrative and or just the narrative, and not even just from media, just from people too, just from all the places and all the things, and how everybody knows your story except for they know it better than you. And he's like, yeah, I lived it, you know. And he's like, and I mean, I want accuracy. The victims deserve accuracy, because if we're telling this narrative, and that's not, it's just like with t- uh, Tim Ballard and his whole propaganda movie with OUR, and how child sex slavery works, allegedly, in his mind. Okay, so that's the thing. If it just skews it a little bit, and now it's affecting like all the real victims who this really happens to, who all the money and donations and support went to go support a movie to basically funnel down into a Mormon man's freaking pocket. And then 10%, I'm sure, to the church and to those who invested in it. You know what I'm saying? It's so gross. It's so gross. But yet, you know, they're still rubbing two nickels together, and all the attention, you know, there's people who are arguing with actual professionals and experts in this field, and they're saying, "No, that's not how the movie portrayed it." Uh-uh. No, it does more damage. I wish they would take the damn movie down. I won't watch it. I've seen enough, you know. Let's see where it is. I need the beginning of it. Mm-mm. But I'm glad that that's a damn demon right there. See it? You see his demon right there? I can't hover because then it does that. That freaked me out. I'm like, mm-mm. You can see that one. Just saying. All right, where's that recording, girl? Oh, another thing. Whenever I was listening to Zach Cox again, right before I went live, y'all know that recording that came out of Thor, Lori, Melanie, and Jason Mal, you know, the clique during Lori's trial, and that there was like that the bird and the screeching and like the dog, and I don't know, or some kid going I don't know. It was shrieking, and I mean, I barely listened to it because of that shit. I can't really take it. Zach Cox says in his interview that happened at Lori's house, because Zach said in his interview that Lori said that you know, that they were gonna have a preparing of people thing there. That's what he called it. And just to kind of stay upstairs and out of the way, try to be real quiet. And I was like, okay, so just a podcast with Melanie, one of their podcasts, you know. And then he started naming Thor, Jason Mal, and Lori and Melanie. You know, he started naming everybody, and I was like, I'll be damned. So it was right there in Lori's house, in Lori and Charles's house. And it's interesting to know where these things come from. And I mean, I listened to Zach Cox, you know, long ago, a couple of times, many times, but just not recently with what I've learned since then. And so yeah, that's got to be it, you know. Oh my God. Let me just try and simplify this a little more. Try that. But I need the whole one. Yeah, there. All right. Now, right out the gate, let me turn this on. Closed caption. Bring it down. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. Right here. Hold on. She says it right there. What the hell is the damn caption? Where's it go? Let me go back. I love Melanie. I just left. I'm gonna grab the transcript, even though I don't think it's on there because it's so low. Let's see. Let's just see. Oh, it does. Okay. Okay. So it starts up at 14 seconds in. It says, and she says, I just love Melanie. I just love her. Let's see. Hold on. Let me go back. Introduce yourself. I feel like I love Melanie. I just love her. And what? And I saw her and just knew we were sisters eternally. Oh, shit. I do this all the time. God dang it. So sorry. Well, okay, get ready for that thing again. Let's go back. Oh my god. Hold on, let me get my shit together real quick. So sorry. Oh, man. I'm very button happy and things don't react when I do. Alright. This is one of the most played moments. Right, 'cause of people like me. I feel like I love Melanie, I just love her. When I saw her, we were sisters eternally. Remember that she said about Tammy Daybell too? Okay, I can take it from here, Lori. And so it says, "And I was sent to her, I prayed for her, and who the Father wanted me to go to elevate." I was like, "Motherfucker." Pardon me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I get excited. But let's listen to how she says it. Alright, I'm gonna go back. We're going back. So there's this whole thing with Lori and how she says, "Someone wise sent me to the temple to meet with Jason Mao or to meet with whatever." And she says, "In walks Jason Mao." And then there they are. And then he hooks her up and sends her to Melanie Gibb because she's higher in the food chain in my or in the pyramid scheme. And then okay, so she just knew when she's so okay. Who is someone wise? First off, I need to know that who's someone wise. Who did Lori talk to in order to get these eternal blessings and you know make her covenants with Chad Damn Daybell? Okay, basically is what's going on. This is what like-minded people is. This is the recruiting system. This is how it's going. She's seeking further light and knowledge. She's listening to Mike Stroud's shit, and he's like, "You have to inquire and plead to obtain and receive, brothers and sisters." He says that you have to really ask. You have to really ask the Lord, you know, for further light and knowledge. Okay, well, further light and knowledge is obviously to double down and just be matched up with your polygamous partner, a spiritual wifery, in my opinion. And that's happening there in the hierarchy, in my opinion, allegedly, in my opinion. And then there's this system, that this person gets in person in touch with this person, and so on and so forth. They're very networking people, you know. I mean, that's one fascinating thing about the LDS people. Um, and so who is someone wise? And she just says right here, and I was sent to her, I prayed for her, and who the Father wanted me to go to elevate. And she went down in her voice, just like Megan talked about, you know, how when Lori is like being deceptive or lying or whatever the hell, it's like she choice words, you know? And so elevate means further light knowledge. It means to go up on those rungs, the ladder, so to speak. And there's so many steps. She even talks later in here how she was on that bottom rung, you know, and she's just ready to move up. I mean, I don't have all this stuff right here right now, but I can show it to you. I can. You want me to? I will show it to you another day, but I'll plan it. It's not the Lord. She's kind of off balance. That is her saying, "Hey, I've made my calling and election, made sure I've had my second comforter now." Wink, wink, nod, nod. That's what this is. Exactly. She had to inquire and plead to obtain and receive. Brothers and sisters, y'all, it's I swear it does me good to sit there and listen to these people over and over and over again, and I'm just it sticks. You know, there's not many things that do, but these things stick. And that's kinda what's happening. It's just like all preparation. It's all preparatory and to get you deceived, basically, okay? Into this selected people who will usher in the dark side of the second coming, which is opposite of the second coming, but it's the second coming to the Gadianton robbers. It's the second coming to the secrets, you know, what do they call it? Secret combinations. Okay. That's what Tim is. That's what Elder Ballard is. That's what I'd say probably the prophet, for sure. Um, Glenn Beck, Eric Mutzos, I'm on the fence, but he uses some dog whistles I'm not too comfortable with. Um, Paul Hutchinson, whether they're in or out the church, it doesn't matter. They're still affiliated and they still have this you know, it's better one suffer. I don't know the words. I don't know the saying, but it's like better that one suffer rather than, you know, everybody. Basically, it's sacrifice one uh to thwart the conspiracy further along. I don't know. I suck at this. Oh, oh, oh. What'd you say, girl? See, I'm thinking the first time I heard that, I was like, "Oh my god." You know, so Mormons believe that they meet with Jesus before coming to this earth and that they either accept this life and everything that it entails or they don't, you know, or they can say hard pass, "No, I don't wanna be born again." Again, it's a double standard crap, double speak, and it's just like, "Oh, we don't believe in reincarnation." The fuck you don't. It's called premortal, life, and then, afterlife. That's 3 right there. Right there. So, I call bullshit on that too. So, just stop naming it different things, okay? Multiple moral probations, um, is and doctrine of eternal lives is reincarnation, Okay. It's a little different though, because they say you can only come back as the sex that you are originally. Like that never changes. You can't come back as a blade of grass or a grasshopper or a rock. She chose. All these people, and they'd play parts in her life. Hello, can you say ritual in the temple much? Right. And I don't know, I doubt Megan's still here, but if I can pass this along to her. This is from we're about to end. I'm sorry. I know I'm tired, hungry, thirsty, all the things. Need to smoke. This is Melanie Pulowski, and I found it. Interesting. I don't know if I forgot it or if it clicked for me then or what. This 11 a.m. This is I'll tell you the date in just a minute of when she testified. I'm sorry, day 17. It says it right here. Recap the trial of Chad Daybell. So it's Chad Daybell's trial, day 17, 11 a.m. Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski explains that Chad already met Lori before a Preparing the People conference she attended in 2018 where Chad spoke. So I don't know. I'll have to go back and listen to the tapes. And now that I'm saying it out loud like that, I'm thinking that she meant they got sealed in November 16th, allegedly. I think it's the 18th, November 16th of 2018 in the temple in Mesa, whatever, Arizona. And I think Melanie Pulaski might be talking about October 26th when they allegedly, I don't know. I mean, it's just worth going to look at. I don't remember. But Melanie explains that Chad already met Lori before a Preparing a People conference she attended in 2018 where Chad spoke. So before that, you know how they talk backwards. Melanie said Chad warned her that Brandon Boudreaux was tracking her with a device on her car because they're paranoids. They're noids, which ended up being true. This validated a lot of what Chad was saying to Melanie. That's it. I mean, just that's it. I mean, if it's a pendulum and it swings one way and says yes, and if it's a pendulum and it swings the opposite way and that means no, it's a 50-50 shot. Okay? So it's like, I mean, even when they tell you the sex of your baby, okay, mine was wrong both times. So I'm just saying. That validated a lot. Okay. Anyway, so I just wanted to share that with you guys and we'll end because I'm tired. You're tired. We're all tired. Oh, it said it lost connection to my screen share. So I'm sorry if it did. Yeah, reborn, but it's a baptism of fire, which is the LDS Church of Satan beliefs. I mean, I swear I want to go over those again, but in full detail because they are so very much just like these, just like them. They talk about being the elites in the premortal lives. They talk about the baptism of fire. You get it from that angle, and it is so on point. Um, whenever they do the sealing ordinance in the temple, like let's say the second anointing, let's just use that for example. There's Satan's who matches it, and they also get marked on the forehead. Never been in the temple, never took part. Okay, don't want to. But they mark them in the foreheads, and then they give them the mark of the so-called beasts. Okay, so as above, so below. We know which side they covenanted with. By ye fruits ye shall know, huh, Tammy Daybell, right? Justice for you, girl. She was using a different filter that cropped her nose until she turned her head. Who? What? Yeah. It's interesting. And how they just all make you think. I think they make themselves believe that they are following Christ. And I'm like, that's not it, girl. No, boy, that ain't it. Yeah. Who's a TikTok addict? Oh, Julie. Yeah. As above, so below. And that, Melanie Plosky says that Melanie Gibb was really the one that was more into energy work, energy healing. And I mean, I'm gonna have to go listen back at that testimony of, remember there was that part in Chad Daybell's trial where there was that FBI agent that, or no, I lie. I think it was maybe a Idaho state attorney, general aide. I don't know. Yeah, he did track her. That's how, he got his private eye to put a tracking device on that U-Haul that went to Rexburg on October 31st, 2019. And that was Melanie Boudreaux and Brandon Boudreaux's, was it 13th or 14th? No, I don't think they were married that long, but it was their anniversary. So, right. Straight up, girl. Straight the hell up. You're going on TikTok now? Why? Are we talking about Julie? Who's belly tattoo? What? I'm missing out. I would want y'all to come. Like, if we could just have y'all talk, and I would just sit here and watch all y'all's stuff. That's what I do anyways, whenever I'm not on here. Somebody's got to talk a lot. I will TikTok it up. We'll end on that because it's 3 hours. Damn it. Okay. Is it under Julie Rowe or Julie Barnett? 367, right? And she says, out loud, Julie Rowe Barnett. I'll use them both. Me. Tickety talk. Oh wait, can I do it with the music? Who has belly tattoos? Julie? Ho? Oh my god. Oh shit. Oh snap. Well, you just come with me here and then we'll find it, okay? We'll go here. I'm not logging in. All you ladies pop you up like this. Remember that one? Is this the right place? Let me go over there and see what y'all are saying. Because why do I have 2 view tabs? This is weird. Okay, I'm on there. You need a snack spot by your computer, lady, with drinks and hidden. Put it on mute. It's even better if you sub what she's saying. Oh, girl, I don't even know if I can think that fast. Hold on. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Come on to the Julie Rowe show. It's just started out like that, huh? Let's see what music we want. We want rock? Daydreaming? Dance pop. Or this one. They call me. Just kidding. I love this one. I hope I have the thing for it. Alright, ready? Okay, I'll go over there and press play. Where's the damn sound at? Julie Hansett. She married again? Julie Hansett became Julie Rowe and Julie Barnett. Non. Julie. OnlyFans. Yo, I get it now. Ago tomorrow. He took me to dinner to celebrate my divorce. Now he's my best friend, bodyguard, and hubby. Is this up to date? No, this is still 23. We were married this weekend. Okay. Julie Rowe and Jacob Barnett admitted to KISSINE. Virginia Jameson McNair. I don't know. I got it. I'm done. It's been 3 hours. First took pictures on Wednesday. September 29th. Is he taking a whiz? I remember my first. A greater tomorrow. 4/20/2023. Topics for May 13th. Eyes wide open. Book signing and speaking events. Is this when she talks about zombies? Because that was my fave. Really. Oh, here we go. We'll be allowing recording. Oh, that's okay. They were going to do it anyways. Anyway, Chad Daybell, Mormon cult, divorce, excommunication from Mormon church. What's with you roll? What I see coming in more. Well, you didn't see Chad Daybell. That's pretty dirty bird. Or did she? I'm trying to choose the call out there. I don't even feel like reading. Oh, I can read it. I'll be in my 20s and 30s and I this song and other that when I turned 40, I was going to turn me in for 2 centuries. I divorced at 48, now I'm married with a younger man. Now I'm married to a younger man. Comment is a bitch. But, you know, and you also said that Steph was going to die. I mean, so there's that. I'm rooting for him. Poor kid. Oh, yeah. Oh, yo, boy. Oh, amphetamine much? Crack is whack, girl. Crack is whack. Oh, yeah. I got you, boo. Lord, just put her in like a convenience store on the other side of the register, you know, with 5 cents or something. And just fucking oh man, I just can't remember. I can't remember anyone else. I don't know. Or ask the hole in the wall. Or I do. In my opinion, don't look at me. I'm not gonna do that. Oh yeah, he's on vampire, whatever. The vampire, yes. No, I've been fun. I always find some really crazy shit. And then, we're gonna pass on that one. Okay. One of the things that, I mean, understand. Don't look her in the eyes, and whatever, don't look her in the eyes. Anyway, but, I mean, I've been reading like a primer to the Illuminati, which is, it's somebody else that wrote it, but it's from that chick, and I'm not sure awesome, but anyways, and so it talks about protectors, it talks about just all the things that Lori did, and belongs to, and this underground railroad system that they all think is part of. And I find it very fascinating, and that's where I find all my answers. I'm just like, oh yeah, and I try for it not to go there, you know, but if the shoe fits, wear it. But it's in there. It's the top one. It's the top 1%. Oh, let me change the overall picture. Something new. Oh Lord. Okay, I gotta look on that. I love this song. I can listen to it all the time. Oh, look like she was going to the beat. Alright, looking for it. Probably my other account. I don't have it on tap, or I would show it to you. But I don't, and we need to end, and so I'm so sorry. New revolution.
What's that?
Wake up. Spiritual TikTok. Near death. Nah, girl. Ask your friend Chad. He's having a whole death experience for once. Just saying. Can't even die whole ass. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying you can't die whole ass. You're gonna have 5 traumatic brain injuries. You got 3 hours and 57 cents in your account. From it is of it. Right? I mean, don't be dirty. Don't be nasty. I'm just saying. That's why you don't say shit like that. Especially under the guise of, no, you're healing people. No, girl, you can't heal yourself. So, I was watching something earlier from White Noise. Okay, from a long time ago. She was like, Julie Rowe. I was like, I'm trying to figure it out. You can't hear me? Oh, man. Am I muted? We're gonna go.